apologize for telling lies, for every night you stayed up and all the times you cried. Broken hearts on timelines, trapped in our confines. Love's a contract, signing blood on dotted lines. We perfect on the gram, but in person we a mess. All the filters in the world couldn't cover up this mess. We was goals to the people, but the love couldn't last. Posting pictures of the future, but we stuck in the past. We would argue every Friday, make up every Sunday, breaking up at midnight, back together Monday. Love is like a cycle, spin around on the runway, crashing every season, but taking off the same way. Say you want the truth, but you crumble when it's shown. You the type to break the windows and complain about the stones. See, I deleted all the text, but screenshots never lie. I was saying I was working, but I was really outside. I was caught up in the cycle, I can't seem to let it end. I was breaking every vow, but swearing I'll amend. I'm faithful on the gram, but a villain in the flesh. Two faces in the mirror, both toxic, both a mess.
I used to believe in you, hung on to every word you said. Thought it was me and you, but you had other plans instead. You couldn't stay true, you welcomed her into our bed. You must have lost your mind, you must be out your head, yeah. Cause you're asleep, you're a liar. I'll bring rain, I'll bring fire, and you won't know peace. You're a clown, you're a fool, but the joke's on you, cause you messed with me. I don't get hurt, no, I get even. Best believe it's heartbreak season. I'll bring rain and I'll bring fire, and you won't know peace. You won't know peace, no. You won't know peace. You won't know peace, no, no. You won't know peace. Best believe it's heartbreak season.
Get the likes up, y'all. Get the likes up. Let's go. Hey, no, I'm tone bite. No, I'm tone bite. No, I'm tone bite. We back, Ratchet Gang. We back with another one. We back with another banger. Let's get the likes up. Look, you might have forgot. Hell, they might have forgot. But you already know it's the king. Too loyal. No, I'm tone bite. Ratchet TV. Hey, y'all already know, man. Y'all already know. Get the likes up if you in the building. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Tap that notification bell so you can get the drop whenever I drop. Alright, so boom. Man. We got to talk, Ratchet Gang. We got to chop it up. Look, tonight we got to get into this Charlie Kirk situation again. We've been uncovering some deep rabbit holes, and we're going to get right back to it tonight. Salute to Ronnie for being a member for eight months. I appreciate you, Ronnie. Salute to Indie Girl for the $10. I appreciate you, Indie Girl. Salute to XOXO Love Maria for being a member for a month. Salute to all three of y'all. Salute. So tonight, hold on, shit. Got my damn blinds open. Let me close my damn blinds. My bad. So tonight we're gonna get into this we'll get back into this Charlie Kirk situation, man. There's been a lot going on within this case. We've been uncovering some very deep rabbit holes, and tonight we're gonna go back in there and I'm gonna give you more. There's been a weird press conference that took place. There's been a lot of weird energy surrounding this entire situation. The more you go in to look for stuff, the more layers you peel off. This is like never ending. There's just layer upon layer upon layer. It's like this case is connected into this case, which is connected into this case, which is connected into that case, which once you start to realize, these motherfuckers been doing this for a long ass time. From what I was able to uncover, this goes all the way back to the 1950s. This is just from what I was able to uncover, allegedly. And everything I say is alleged. And it's all under the Fair Use Act. And you can see the fair use disclaimer in the description of this video and in the description of all my videos. This is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is just to educate my people on what we've been covering over here. Like I said, it's all under the Fair Use Act, and you can see the fair use disclaimer in the description of this video, and everything I say is alleged. Allegedly, y'all. So, yeah, this is weird. Has anyone else went down the rabbit hole, or have you just been getting your information from over here? Let me know in the chat, because the information I be giving out, you got to go looking for the information I'm getting. It don't just stumble upon you like that. Certainly, yeah. Drop the gems if you've been going down that rabbit hole on your own. Let me know in the chat if you just here, you came here to get the drop. What is going on? Drop the eyeballs if you came here to get the drop. Drop the gems if you've already went down this rabbit hole on your own. Salute Keyshawn for being a member for 20 months. Drop the flowers for Keyshawn. Says salute Big Ratchet and all the mods. Green team. Let's go, King. You the best at it. Salute. I appreciate you. Salute. So salute to all my green members. Salute to all the mods. Salute to everybody who donates to the channel. Everybody double tap your screen. Let's get these likes up right now. It's time to go on down this rabbit hole. Man, I don't know what to believe no more. I'm being serious, man. It's like I just can't stop. I just can't stop looking up this information. I just cannot stop. We got about another 3-hour live sitting right here tonight in front of us. So just know we're going to probably be here for about 3 hours again, uncovering even more stuff. We're not even going over the same shit. I'm telling y'all, it's just more and more and more. There's rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. It's just nonstop. And to come to find out, allegedly, this is all a setup. Allegedly, this is all a setup. Now, what if I was to tell you that Pops might be mad at Son? He might have found out Son, you know what I'm saying, was a little funny doing some fluffy stuff on the side. He found out his son, you know what I'm saying, liked the other side. Or the same side, should I say. The son liked the same side. The son turns out to be something that he doesn't stand for. He disowns Son. Something pops off. Someone comes to you, is like, hey, look. Little buddy might fit the description and of something real important going on. But you got to be willing to give him up, and we'll give you everything you want. You can get unlimited amount of money, 100 million right now. Give him up. Just give us him. If you just switch it up and just say this happened, and just shut the fuck up and stay out the way. Don't make a fucking statement. The money's yours. Now, when you go down this rabbit hole, you see, and even people were saying that they saw Tyler today, and they say this dude looks AI. It's some weird shit going on. But when you go down the rabbit hole of Tyler Robinson, you start to see Tyler Robinson standing in front of a computer. The FBI released it. They made sure to release this image of Tyler standing next to a computer, but on the computer it has something on the screen, and when you look at this screen, the screen starts to tell you a story. The screen starts to tell you a story. It's giving up a location. And then the FBI gets up there on the news and says, we'll see you at so-and-so. Do y'all know where I'm talking about? Do y'all know where I'm going with this? It's some weird shit going on. Make sure y'all double tap that screen, man. Make sure y'all double tap the screen. I'm telling y'all, there's some weird shit going on. Tyler's standing in front of a computer. Tyler is standing in front of the computer, and if you look at the screen, there's a location on the screen. The FBI gets up there and says that same location, like, I'll see you at that location. I'm like, what? Then when you go look it up, the wife come from the same location. I'm like, wait, whoa. Then you start to see the wife connected in with the president. He put her on. She came into the game with him at the Miss America pageant. I'm like, bro, you can't make this shit up. I don't believe in coincidences, but man, we're going down that rabbit hole again tonight. I'm telling y'all, this shit is going to get weird. I'm telling you, it's about to get weird. Man. So, yeah, I've been going down the rabbit hole. I have not been able to stop. So I was like, man, I might just take tonight off, man. We've been cooking so much. I just wanted, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It was about 2 or 3 o'clock today. I was like, you know what? Just fuck it, man.
Let's not stop. Let's just continue and just finish. And let's just finish what we started, man. I don't see it no other way but to just see it through like we've done everything else. Now I don't even feel like we're doing nothing wrong. We're just educating people on what's already out there. You know what I'm saying? But at any time you can disagree with the allegations or the information that's in front of you. I ain't saying this is law. I'm saying allegedly. So I probably don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. So you watching this, and I probably don't even know what I'm talking about. But I think I know a little bit about a lot, or a lot about a little bit. We're gonna see tonight, though. Are y'all ready to get this show started? We got a lot to discuss. This is one of those shows where I don't even know how to start it off. That's how weird it's finna get. I don't even know what to do with this information. I got so much information on this Charlie Kirk situation. I don't even know what to do with it. I'm kind of spooked. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I am kind of spooked on this shit. Not kind of, a lot. Because these people are scary and these people is powerful as hell. And when I start seeing the expressions and the stuff that these people were saying and have done and have been tied to, I am afraid of these damn people. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Hell yeah, I'm afraid of these damn people. They are. This is dangerous. But allegedly, the big guy in the big White House is tied into the dude. The dude to start with the N. I don't want to say these names. Y'all gotta just decode what I'm saying. The dude in the White House, the big dude in the White House, you know, the top dog, him and this dude already are tied together and linked together based upon some shit that happened in the past. We're going to cover all that tonight, but they're tied together. So this is, yeah. But then what if I was to tell you that some people were able to get a hold of the most powerful tool in the world? Now I want y'all to wake up and open your minds, because this is where we're finna go. This is gonna be the last thing that I talk about before we start this live. I just want to put y'all in the mind frame of where I'm going tonight. What if I was to tell you there was a tool that is the most powerful tool that we can use for knowledge? What is that tool that we can pick up and we can read this, and this is a tool for all the knowledge that we need? What tool would that be? Come on, y'all. Wake up, open your minds real quick. We're finna start the live in just a minute, but what can you read that is the biggest tool? What is it, though? Name it. Name the book. Name the book. Come on, somebody say it in the chat. Somebody said Bible. There you go, Pat. Pat Code 82. The Bible. That's where you gain all the knowledge from. So what if someone was so powerful they could rewrite shit and put it in there? Well, let me not cuss when I think about it. They can rewrite things into their favor. Therefore, it's already looked upon as, if you go against what this says, then you're going against the... You see what I'm saying? So if I put certain things in certain places that kind of make it look like so-and-so is saying, you must do this, and they're like, well, you see, well, so-and-so said, I'm trying to speak in code. Just listen to what I'm not saying. So you talking about the Almighty telling you, you better do this. But how do we know? Now that I'm starting to think, I'm like, how do we know that you didn't do this? You know what I'm saying? How do we know? After I'm watching how you move, and I'm watching the shit y'all doing, how do I know that you didn't rewrite this shit? Stuff. Excuse me. Starts to make you kind of question everything. Like, what is this? So everything, and that's what Charlie was starting to question. Like, so if I go against what the people who run over there, look, I'm not saying I'm going against them as a whole. I'm saying I just think their government is corrupt. I think these people should be exposed, but I'm not. That makes me a bad human being because I'm saying this. Like, so that's where he was at with it. So we're gonna uncover all this shit tonight. I don't even know where to begin. Let's see. How do I even start this damn live? Let's see. Where do we start tonight? Let's see. Oh, hold on. Let me put it right here. Boom.
This was all white.
All right, there we go. I got that one, and I got that one.
That is coming out of him. The energy that's coming out of him.
All right, there we go. Boom. We're going to start right here. We're going to start right here. All right, y'all ready to get this live started, man? Double tap your screen, get the likes up. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, so we're gonna start right here. All right, give me a second. All right, y'all ready? Man. Hold on. Man. All right, let's go. Let's start right here. Candace popped back out today. Y'all know we was covering her yesterday, but she popped back out today, and she sure had a lot to say.
That is coming out of him, the energy that's coming out of Megan, is where I was 2 years ago. Okay? I've been there. You can't even lie to, you can't even attempt to lie to me about what is pouring off of both of them. I was someone who spent my life, my political life, defending Israel. Didn't really mean anything to me. It seemed like a good, argument on surface that we should support them. They're the only democracy in the Middle East. Okay, now I know that that's not even true. But like, who cares? I was just like pro-America, and I wanted to focus on BLM and getting Black America better. And then that happened. I said one thing, and suddenly, like, whoa! It was like they just line up. Like it's like Agent Smith. Okay, it's like Agent Smith in the Matrix. How many can there be all saying the same thing? And then they gaslight you. They make you think you're crazy because they're like, why don't you understand why what you did is really wrong? I remember this. I remember the tweet. I said, no person, nobody, no nation anywhere in the world has a right to commit genocide. And I was suddenly being flooded with messages from people, Dave Rubin. I remember this. I was like, what did you mean by that? And their text me, it's like, we can help you. You can help me what? I said something that made sense. Like, this should not offend anybody. Nobody has, genocide's not cool, right? Did something change? Where was I? It's when you tweeted it. And like, you could have been clearer.
See, and they start going to you when you start getting the truth out, and they don't like none of the stuff that these people been saying. And I really believe like Candace might got a target on her back, but maybe not, because she's already looked at as, people already got their opinion on her anyway. I don't think that she has that. I think maybe now she might start gaining influence now. So she might want to be careful. Now, I just would say that it's a lot of people who dislike Candace. There's a lot of people who dislike Charlie, but it was different with him. He was more on the political side, and it just hit different with Charlie. He was into politics. She's just on YouTube doing this on the internet. Charlie really out putting boots on the ground. Well, was really out putting boots on the ground. So he was much more of a threat. He was really touching the people. But now Candace, I don't know if y'all been seeing, I put my eyes over there today. She had like 270 some thousand in her chat. Like, what the man? I'm talking about with thousands and thousands on the damn screen. But salute to Keyshawn, and salute to Paul for the 2 pieces. I appreciate y'all. Salute. But yeah, man, this is a crazy time. So she's gaining a lot of influence now. I don't know. She just might want to be careful.
You should have added that Israel would never do that. I'm like, okay, you guys are being insane. This statement stands. I was referring to Brian Mast's remarks, but even if I wasn't, and I just tweeted genocide is always wrong, that tweet should always be right. I can feel that energy, okay? When you're not sure who your friends are, they're starting to gaslight you. They're making you think you're going crazy for having sensible positions. And there's no halfway house for this, okay? I can tell you that. You're either going to take being kicked in the chest, okay, and told to get out, and then suddenly they're all communicating behind your back, and just where he talks about the article, something goes out and suddenly it's like, what's going on? They're like trying to make you think you're going crazy because you're saying some sensible stuff. Charlie was at that moment. He says that he is receiving messages calling him an anti-Semite. So how can you lie right now and dispute it? And
she does. I did notice that she does that quite a bit. Does anybody know? Did anybody catch it before I go back to? I have noticed a few things, and I'm gonna point this out a few times today. This is gonna be a long episode. We got so much to talk about tonight, but it's kind of right here where she starts doing this thing with her hands a lot.
Sensible stuff. Charlie was at that moment. He says that he is receiving messages calling him an anti-Semite. So how?
You know what I'm saying? But we're going to point that out a few times. It just I don't know, man. It's a lot going on. It's just too much. It's too much we're going to get there. We're going to talk about it.
Right now and dispute it. And better question, why are you lying? I don't like little lies. I'm being contacted by a lot of people that are telling me that just within 48 hours before Charlie passed away, His top Jewish donors were pulling funding from him, demanding that Charlie take their name off of the building that they had donated to Turning Point. I guess I can figure out who that is, how many people could have donated to the building. And then once Charlie was killed, they said, never mind, put it back on the building. Okay. Charlie himself had alluded to a tremendous loss of money coming in. And we'll speak about that more. More people are going to come out with information. This is all inevitable. Okay. And I'll also point you in this direction. You guys remember Bibi recently was on a PR blitz, despite the fact that he was, fighting this 96,000 front war because Israel didn't do nothing. Okay. He was doing a ton of podcasts in America. He went on to Patrick Bet-David's podcast. He went on to Brennan Tatum's podcast. He went on to the Nelk Boys podcast. Anybody find it weird he didn't do Charlie Kirk's show? Tommy very quickly told us that Charlie was implied that Charlie was penning love letters to him in May. I just love you so much. It's amazing. They were so close. Boys just hits him up like, hey, I know we're fighting this 97,000 front war.
That's a good point. She's like, you put that letter out basically saying like y'all was best friends and he loved you so much. Why would you skip his show? You went on a tour of podcasts you was doing, but you just skipped Charlie Kirk.
We're always the victims, but do you want to just come and maybe stay at my place for the weekend here in Israel? Like, that's the vibe that Bibi was rushing to present to the media. So why didn't you do Charlie Kirk's show? I'll leave that as a question for you guys. Common sense, okay?
Now, like I said, Candace has been exposing a lot.
This was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons when Charlie was put under pressure. When Bibi Netanyahu called him and invited him to Israel, again in a move that when it happened to me, and it wasn't Bibi Netanyahu, felt to me like a laced threat.
This is they're saying that they were trying to lure Charlie to Israel. They wanted him to go kiss that wall. Now I got footage today that's going to show y'all some people was over there and they got it on film where they must take off their crosses. So anyone who had a cross on, you have to take it off and you have to go with Mr. N. I'm just going to call him Mr. N. You got to go over there with him and he has to teach you, kind of coach you through how to pray and kiss this wall. I ain't going to say it. I'm just going to say it. Just, I don't know what, I don't know. I don't even want to make a statement. I'm just going to say, I'm just going to present all the shit to y'all tonight. It's just a lot going on and I got to be real careful. Told you he had to change your heart. He no longer felt the way he felt. And I'm telling y'all, the turning point was when he was at that debate. I'm telling y'all, I showed y'all last night, Charlie Kirk's turning point was when he lost that debate. And he kind of submitted to the debate because that guy told him something that he didn't know. He was talking about 9/11. He was talking about that. And he starts saying, oh, well, how is it this? How is it that? And Charlie's challenging all of his statements. Then at the end, the dude goes, well, what about the dude's passport just laying right there 2 miles away at a crash site? They just so happen to find his passport. And Charlie's like, wait, what'd you just say? And he's like, you heard me. The guy's passport was 2 miles away at a crash site. How did they just randomly just find that? And he's like, I never heard of this information before. So I'm assuming at that point, he just listened to the guy, just keep talking and talking. And Charlie kind of submitted to the argument at that point. And then I think he went and did his own homework. And he started to realize, I think he went down the rabbit hole and he just started to realize everything was a fucking lie.
And that he felt.
Yeah, Candace, she's been going off the deep end. I ain't gonna lie, Candace has been going off on the deep end. She really has. So let's get over here to, I got a lot of receipts today. So let's see, where are we gonna start with these damn receipts? Is this it right here? Let's see. Hold on. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's start right here. We're gonna start right here with the receipt folder, y'all. Let's go. Y'all ready? Let's go. Let's go. Double tap that screen and get these likes up.
This is fucking real.
So it says, Israel has signed a $45 million deal with Google and YouTube. Under the agreement, Google and YouTube will run Israel's ads, particularly related to Allegedly. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. So they're asking, is this true? I have no idea if that's true. I'm just saying allegedly. This is just what the video says. I have no idea.
If this is fucking real, hold on, let me go research. Yo, not only is it fucking real, what the fuck is Project Nimbus? What? Yo, this motherfucker right here has to be the Antichrist. There's no way and there's no reason why there should be this much happening all the fucking time, every single day. Yo, the fact that we have to wait it out until this motherfucker's gone, holy shit. Yo,
I don't know, y'all. What y'all think about that? We got a lot to discuss tonight. A lot to discuss tonight. The Epster Files 2.0. FBI says Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson left behind manifesto that was allegedly destroyed. Now, did y'all hear about this? Now, wait till y'all hear about this. So, allegedly, they have the note that he confessed everything, but they destroyed the note, but believe they can still use the note as evidence because they had the note at one point, but they destroyed it. But they still gonna use it, but they still got it. They just don't got it. I don't know if I'm making sense. I know I'm not, because I know it don't make sense, but this is what they coming out saying. They saying this about all these. I don't know, fam. It's so much going on. Wait till y'all hear all of these excuses they make about everything. I'm just gonna connect the dots on everything tonight, man. When I get done exposing these motherfuckers for everything, y'all gonna understand. Just watch.
Note, did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday. And what did that say? If you could.
So what I'm able to say, I'm sorry. So what I'm able to say is I addressed it partially earlier, is that the written note, we believe what did exist, and we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what that note says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
So the written note was it?
What in the hell did he just say? Look, I ain't saying I'm the smartest person in the room. I'm just saying I know I'm not the dumbest. So I don't understand what the fuck that meant. But what are you trying to say, brother? Let's listen to that one more time.
Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday. And what did that say? If you could.
So what I'm able to say, I'm sorry. So what I'm able to say is I addressed it partially earlier, is that the written note, we believe what did exist, and we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what that note says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
Man, so because you was aggressive, you learned new information. What in the fuck are you talking about, man? I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just the one tripping right here. Could be. So now we got Utah County Jail. Did y'all see this today? Did anybody see not Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson today at court? Did anybody see this? Let me know in the chat if y'all already seen this.
Good afternoon. My name is Judge Graff. I will be handling the first appearance calendar today.
That's Tyler.
At the conclusion of the hearing, for the first case, the court will take a recess and remind all those who are scheduled for the first appearance calendar to log back in 15 minutes after the court has taken a recess.
I'm sorry, but that does not look like the same person that did this. Hey, everybody double tap their screen to get these likes up. We should be at 1,000 likes. We got over 3,000 people almost in here. Come on, man, let's go.
As a general note, no electronic usage is allowed unless pre-approved. Any disruptions will will be removed. To the jail, are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Calling case 251-403-576, State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Graff. Mr. Scortis.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. You're probably already aware of my presence or why I'm here, but if not, I am not entering an appearance. I'm not counsel on this case. I'm working with the county to get counsel assigned, but we need you to allow for the appointment of counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Scortis. I want to go through the qualifications
Absolutely.
for indigency, but that is my intent, Mr. Scortis.
Very well.
And I thank you for being here. So, Mr. Robinson, you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court can appoint an attorney to represent you. I have reviewed your declaration of financial status and find that you are indigent. I'm provisionally appointing a Rule 8 qualified attorney to represent you on your case, Mr. Robinson. Along with their filing of their appearance of counsel, the assigned attorneys must file declarations with the court that outline their qualifications under Rule 8 and Rule 8C, under Rule 8B and Rule 8C for a counsel appointment in a case where death may be a sentencing option. I'm ordering that those declarations be filed prior to the next hearing date, which is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. Mr. Robinson, I also wish to inform you of your rights against self-incrimination. Anything that you say in court today could be used against you, and we want to protect your constitutional rights. Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail. Mr. Scortis, is there any other points that you wish to address?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Turning to the state.
Yes, Your Honor, Chad Grunander for the state. I'm also joined, and they're listed as attendees, Ryan McBride, Lauren Hunt, David Sturgill, and Chris Ballard. We are the trial team on this case. I do have a few points I'd like to bring up with Your Honor. We have filed a pretrial protective order on behalf of Erica Kirk. We would ask the court to review that. It should be in your queue, Your Honor, and sign that.
So Erica Kirk wants a protective order against this man. Erica Kirk is in fear of her life because of Tyler Robinson. And I got my question marks around Erica Kirk. I'm gonna be honest. I'm side-eyeing everybody right now, from the big guy in the big house to the wife. I'm side-eyeing a lot of shit, because when I get done exposing all this stuff tonight, man, y'all gonna be looking at everybody different.
Thank you. I have reviewed the pretrial protective order and will be issuing this pretrial protective order in favor of Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file. Lastly, I would just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing these charges within 5 days.
Look at what do you guys think about the body language from Tyler? What do you guys think of the body language from Tyler, man? Everybody in this building, double tap your screen, man. We got too many people in here for y'all not to get these likes up. Let's go.
Once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate to the defense as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Grunander. Mr. Robinson, what I also want to do is you have the right to have the charges read that you stand charged of. And I wish to read those to you at this time.
His body language is a little off. I think the body language is good. I don't know.
Mr. Robinson, for count 1, aggravated murder, a capital felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-5-2 202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty or pursuant to Utah Code 76.3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years, and that may be for life. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing.
Has anybody else noticed that Tyler just hasn't moved at all? Like, you didn't make any body movements. Like, you didn't have to wipe your nose, you didn't have to scratch your eye, or you just didn't do nothing. You're just sitting there. It's just kind of weird. He's just, I don't know. It's almost like emotionless. I don't know. This is just creepy, bro.
Judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider as an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent criminal offense in the presence of a child. Count 2. Felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury.
In the presence of a child? I mean, I'm not saying it was not a child out there, but I think there was a lot of children out there. What do you mean he has one count of what? I'm so lost.
A first-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-11-210 sub 2 and 3C, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, discharged a firearm in the direction of Charlie Kirk, knowing or having reason to believe that Charlie Kirk may be endangered by the discharge of the firearm and that the act caused serious bodily injury to Charlie Kirk. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.
The wording is kind of off. What do you mean it caused serious bodily harm? I mean, it killed him. I thought, you know what I'm saying? I thought it unalived him. What do you, huh?
0.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression.
Yeah, somebody said, why isn't he in physical court? Yeah, why would they not? I mean, I'm not from Utah, but why is court shut down for him? Why couldn't he go to real court like everybody else? Why? I don't know. Something is just totally off about this.
Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child, aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent offense in the presence of a child. Count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson with intent.
Something does. I see what people mean now about the AI aspect. Something does give like AI. Where is his jail clothes at? Why is he in there? Like, what is this? What is this? Is this for Utah County, or is this what they wear in Utah County? I'm confused. I don't know why the fuck he has this on or why he's in virtual court. What the fuck is going on?
Hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or pursuant to any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, conceal or remove the firearm used to shoot Charlie Kirk, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or a first-degree felony. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code 76-8-306, sub 2. In that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, with an intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or punishment of any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, destroyed, concealed, or removed the clothing he wore during the shooting, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or first-degree felony. Count 5, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony, information, a document, or an item, to wit, directing his roommate to delete incriminating text messages. Count 6, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony or information, to wit, directing his roommate to stay silent if the police questioned the roommate. Count 7, violent offense committed in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.10 sub 2 and 76-3-203.14 sub 3a little double I, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, committed criminal homicide in the physical presence of a child younger than 14 years of age, with knowledge that a child was present and that may have been seen or heard the commission of the criminal homicide. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2, Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. That concludes reading of the information. Mr. Robinson, this case is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. It will be a waiver hearing, and I will be the judge assigned to this case. Mr. Robinson, I invite you to join us at that time. Is there anything further, counsel?
No, yeah, we'll have counsel appointed by then. Thank you.
Mr. Gurander, anything further?
One item, just for clarification, Your Honor, the hearing on the 29th, is that in person or WebEx?
Thank you. That is a great question. It will be via WebEx.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right. I want to thank all parties for being here, and this concludes this hearing at this time. Court is in recess.
Yeah, that was very weird. That was very odd. He never moved one time. He just stood there like, what the fuck was that? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. But then when I get stuff like this, I understand it all.
Was it a written note? Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday. And what did that say? If you could.
So what I'm able to say, I'm sorry. So what I'm able to say is I addressed it partially earlier, is that the written note, we believe, what did exist, and we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying, the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what that note says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
I don't know what the fuck these people, they think we dumb as hell. They really think we dumb as hell.
I will also call upon, since we're having fun, Turning Point USA to release the audio of what Charlie Kirk, because I was in communication with Charlie at this time, because I knew exactly which donors were pressuring him and why, exactly which people, that they were insisting Charlie allowed to speak at his event and why, when Charlie did not necessarily want those people to speak at his event. Okay. I'm calling upon Turning Point to release the footage of what Charlie said to Tucker Carlson before he hit the stage, before, all of that craziness and the response to Tucker Carlson's remarks played out. Charlie was mic'd. Surely Tucker Carlson was mic'd. I know Charlie's mic'd the entire time at those events. So I'm asking for everyone to just release Charlie in his own words. I feel like that's pretty fair, right? Let's stop saying how Charlie felt, and instead, if you're going to hold up the letter, release it in its entirety, okay? Why don't you release your messages, Bill? I'll release mine. Let's all just be very forthcoming about what took place. In fact, I'm calling upon Tucker Carlson to speak about that. I know what Charlie said to him, and I'm sure Tucker Carlson won't lie about it. What did Charlie say to you? Dave Smith, what did Charlie say to you? What was Charlie? Did he seem like he was treading in the direction? Like, do we feel like what BB is saying is honest, a representation of what Charlie was going through? This is what I want. I think that the thing that we need here, sunlight is the best disinfectant. Now, does all of this mean that Bibi Netanyahu and...
Well, at least thank you for the 5. Yeah, they won't release nothing because they're lying. They're not going to release none of the footage because they're lying.
That this somehow proves...
Allegedly.
That Israel was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk? No, we have no evidence of that. We can't say that because there is no evidence of that. But I don't like little lies. That's what I will say. Something that I always say in my household is, when there is one lie, there's 20. There's no reason to lie. Bibi could have gone on Fox News and he could have told the truth. He could have said truthfully that Charlie Kirk has always loved Israel. He has always loved Israel as the Holy Land. He's been here many times, and throughout his career, he has been a faithful supporter of Israel. That's not what he said. Okay. He talks about the phone call and didn't give it the proper context. He held up the letter and didn't give it the proper context. And lies by severe omission, I'd like to be very clear, are lies. Lies by severe omission are lies. You're not going to gaslight us and tell us to shut up or call us anti-Semitic for pointing out the fact that Charlie was having a change of heart about the tactics that Israel was using in America, and that he felt when he had left that meeting that he had effectively been blackmailed. I will also call upon...
What do y'all think about that? Charlie Kirk was blackmailed.
Charlie
allegedly.
Kirk is shot in the neck from 200 yards away, right in the jugular vein. And as people are running away, the police somehow find this guy who was a patsy. He faked the whole thing to divert attention from the real shooter on the rooftop 200 yards away. Then we find out that the shooter managed to escape without a trace. No security camera footage. No one saw him on the campus. Moments after, though, the shooting takes place, you have Benjamin Netanyahu who comes out and tweets about this before anyone else, before Trump even, the personal friend of Charlie Kirk. Then a few moments later, you have Benjamin Netanyahu come out and say that I was speaking to Charlie Kirk 2 weeks ago. I invited him to Israel. What? You invited him to Israel after he was saying all these things about Mossad, about Gaza, about Iran, and he was getting all this flack for having Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith speak at TPUSA. All of your Hasbara agents were attacking Charlie Kirk, and you decided to stop your schedule bombing 7 countries in the middle of this political crisis in your country to have a conversation with Charlie Kirk, call him and say that he needs to come to Israel to kiss the wall again, and presumably he said no. Am I missing something? Because a lot of the Israelis and their Hasbara agents online are saying, you can't talk about that. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're just trying to tie everything to Israel. No, this is a political assassination of one of the most famous political commentators in the country. I'm allowed to ask questions about whatever I want. I'm allowed to say whatever I want. Do I think it's interesting that JFK's shooter was never found? RFK's shooter was never found? Princess Diana's murder was covered up? The 9/11 story was obviously covered up? Do I think it's interesting that the Epstein list was never released? Do I think it's interesting that This is all happening right now, and the shooter's still not found. Yes, I do. And I'm going to keep asking questions.
I think we all should keep asking questions.
These connections keep getting weirder and weirder. So right at the end of this press conference where Kash Patel announces that they caught Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, Kash Patel ends it with Charlie Kirk, I'll see you in Valhalla.
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Now, what's interesting is that one of the pictures that they put out of Tyler Robinson shows Tyler Robinson in his bedroom next to his computer. On the computer is a picture of an island. That island is called Goat Island, and it's located in New Zealand that has a retreat called Valhalla. Isn't that weird? That's just weird. These connections.
Now, what do y'all think about that? When the perpetrator leaves a manifesto, there is already an agenda to push some BS law against our people who don't have anything to do with this. Salute. I appreciate you, Pat Cole, on that $5. Thank you. Man, did y'all see that?
Connections keep getting weirder and weirder. So right at the end of this press conference where Kash Patel announced.
So what did he mean? So for the person that says reaching, what did he mean by this?
Is that they caught Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson. Kash Patel ends it with Charlie Kirk, I'll see you in Valhalla.
What did he mean by that? When he said that to him, what did he mean by that?
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
What did he mean by that? Can anybody in the chat tell me what the fuck did that mean? Like, what did that even mean? So, oh my God, we're going down the rabbit hole. Yes, this is deep down the rabbit hole. I'm not going to play games with y'all tonight. Tell me what that meant.
Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life. And I want to thank my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from this studio, this chair. Every day he loved it. Mr. President, my husband loved you. And he knew that you loved him too. He loved the Chicago Cubs. And my goodness, did he love the Oregon Ducks. Want me to say go Ducks, so I have to since they play on Saturday. So go Ducks. Charlie loved his children. And he loved me. Mr. President, my husband loved you. Charlie loved his children. You guys, our God is so good. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination, they killed Charlie because he preached God's merciful love. The movement's not going in. If you want to get involved, go to tpusa.com. If you're a pastor, join our movement at TPUSA Faith. And if you're a parent, sign up right now for that because we would love to see you. The Lord Jesus Christ who rose from the dead, then they will be saved. Hear me when I say this, nobody is ever too young to know the gospel. And may God bless America. Good evening.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm just as lost as you are, ma'am. I understand. Trust me.
I'm sorry, but what?
Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was.
Yeah. So did y'all know that this man and Charlie had beef? And I'm gonna explain that later too. Did y'all know that this man and Charlie had beef? I don't know if y'all knew that in the chat, but these two, yeah, they were definitely beefing.
When he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here.
So he was wearing different clothes before the shooting, changed into the black t-shirt with the American Eagle on the front you can buy from Walmart, the Carpe Omnia shirt. Shot Charlie with a 30-06, disassembled 30-06 with the expelled round still in the chamber, and 3 extra rounds wrapped in a towel, took that apart, jumped off the building, put it back together, left it in the fucking woods, then changed his clothes. Governor Cox, you got some real explaining to do. Are you the reason why the FBI field office there kept information about this alleged shooter and information about the suspect off the radar of Cash Patel, the one standing behind you for 12 hours? And is this the reason why you're dragging your feet and fucking this investigation and moving all these pieces around? Because back in March, Charlie said you should have been expelled from the Republican Party.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox should be expelled from the Republican Party. Charlie Kirk said that about that same man. So what are we talking about? For anybody that says reaching, this rabbit hole goes deep. This dude didn't even like Charlie. Utah Governor Spencer Cox should be, he said this dude should be off the damn Republican Party. He should be expelled from the Republican Party. And now the same dude up here stuttering, running his mouth.
Party? Seems like you have plenty of reason to hate him. Charlie only had 1.7 million followers on Instagram up until the day he died. His account just blew up to over 11 million followers. There's a lot of people that loved and respected Charlie more than hated him. You bald-headed fuck. There was a drone caught on camera flying around that day. Have you guys been able to find out who owned that drone? What footage is on that? You already know that the old white man with the gray hair was a plant to distract whoever was on campus grounds so the shooter and or shooters could get away. No, the private plane had nothing to do with it because it takes 16 minutes to get to the airport to get on that plane. And that plane took off 20 minutes after Charlie was shot. The timing doesn't make sense. And the alleged shooter wearing black clothes was seen on security cam footages around the neighborhoods near the campuses walking around. Clothes did he change out of and change back into after the shooting, Governor Cox? None of this is making any sense. And there's more people looking at this than most other shootings because of who he was and how it happened and where it happened at. And how everybody's trying to make it acceptable and it was okay because he had a strong difference, political and religious opinion than everybody else. Let me just say, y'all have all fucked up. And we won't stop till we get the truth.
So then we get to this. Did y'all hear about this? Man who falsely claimed to be Charlie Kirk's unaliver is now facing child blank charges. You know, child movies. If y'all can read there right there, child whoop-de-whoop charges after false claim led to FBI checking his phone. This is crazy as hell. A Utah man who falsely claimed responsibility for shooting the conservative activist Charlie Kirk is now facing unrelated but serious federal charges concerning child, and I'm just going to say child movies. On September 10th, during an event at Utah Valley University, Kirk was blanked in the neck while taking questions on stage. In the chaos that followed, police arrested 71-year-old George Hodgson Zinn, who told officers he was the gunman. Authorities say Zinn was quickly taken into custody, but later complained of chest pains and was brought to a hospital. While interviewing Zinn at the hospital, FBI agents questioned him about the contents in his phone. According to court documents, Zinn admitted to using his device to view inappropriate material involving minors. Prosecutors have now charged him with 4 counts of actual exploitation of a minor, after agents say they uncovered multiple illegal images. Police later identified a different suspect, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, who has since been arrested in connection with the attack. Zinn is being held without bail as the investigation continues. So now this dude is going down for having child movies in his phone. Man.
If Israel killed Charlie Kirk, how did Tyler Robinson get connected to all of this? That's the question I keep on getting. I personally think we may have an answer. Because it's been reported now from Candace Owens and from other people, there was a major meeting here a few months back at the Hamptons at Bill Ackman's home, where Charlie Kirk was meeting with all these different people wanting to create what they call Junior Charlie Kirks. Was the idea to go around these college campuses. We know that Charlie was questioning everything. He's meeting with Bill Ackman, who is a very rich Zionist with ties to BlackRock, nonetheless. He's worth $9 billion. And different reports say different things, but there was obviously some form of tension at this meeting. There are several people coming out saying that Bill was screaming. Other people were screaming at Charlie because he has spoken out against Israel. And who is the person that pulls out a $1 million reward for the person who turns in Tyler Robinson, the supposed shooter? Bill Ackman. That's a weird connection, is it not? And who turns in the shooter? The shooter's father. The shooter's father, who was a minister of some sorts at his Mormon church, who's probably upset that his son is gay, dating this transgender, into this weird stuff. Bill Ackman may have approached him and said, hey, look, we set all this up. We'll get your son here. We'll give you the money. It all plays out to where the dad gets all this money. The family gets all this money. Tyler Robinson gets framed and Israel kills Charlie Kirk. Because they were not happy with what Charlie was saying about them. They were not happy he was getting platforms to people who were saying bad things about him. That may be the key missing piece to this entire investigation. If Israel killed Charlie Kirk.
What do y'all think about that? That's a way to look at it, because this dude Bill Ackman, we uncovered him yesterday as well as a few other people. Let's continue.
Today as well. But do you have cell phones? You have cell phones here? No. You're holding a piece of Israel right there.
Oh, a piece of Israel? Say less.
Oh, but on a serious note, this guy just literally admitted on live television that they are assassinating people through their phone, and your phone is a library that literally they're tracking you through it, which is no privacy, which is Apple, Samsung, all of them are giving them permission to track people and get all private information from about you. Congratulations. Our freedom is gone.
He asked him, you holding a cell phone? Well, you got a piece of Israel right in your hand right now.
Bibi Netanyahu in that phone call, what took place was a couple of weeks ago before Charlie lost his life. Charlie was in the Hamptons. He had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman, because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote-unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made. He was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you. And he did not provide the receipts. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding. That Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, re-education camp. We've seen it. You may not know, but we can help you. Another person that was there, and I am not surprised this person was there. If you've been listening to my show, Seth Dillon. I said, any comment on this one, Seth? He didn't answer last night. This morning I said, need a comment ASAP, please. He didn't answer. Then I followed that up and I said, trying again here, you were present when Ackman lost his mind on Charlie and when Bibi invited him to Israel and Charlie refused. Text messages immediately following this meeting are circulating. I find Ackman's statement, as though the meeting was somehow cordial, to be incredibly disturbing. Are you at all disturbed by that tweet? Do you feel, as I do, that this tweet significantly betrays the defined purpose and mood of his, and I presume your, final meeting with Charlie Kirk, ? He was unable to speak to me, but he did place some frantic calls to Turning Point USA. Yeah. You see, I went out to Seth, but I also went out to two other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking. because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons. Bibi Netanyahu and that phone call it took.
Man. Candace Owens is exposing everything.
Tyler Robinson has denied all charges. Not only that, according to the Utah governor yesterday, he is also not cooperating.
The suspect has not been cooperating so far. There are a couple things that we can confirm that have been reported.
But apparently, he did confess to unaliving Charlie in a small chat on Discord. Okay, but hear this. According to Kash Patel, there was a note in his house that was destroyed, okay, but then forensics recovered it, which says that he has the opportunity to take out Charlie, and he's going to take it. Convenient, right?
The suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what that note says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
Discord message, a destroyed note. They also found a towel wrapped around the weapon that was used to take out Charlie, and the DNA on that towel matches the suspect, but he was never seen with the rifle. None of the security cameras show Tyler with that weapon. Guys, this is the new Epstein files. This is Epstein files 2.0. Discord messages, a destroyed note, a towel wrapped around a gun that was never seen with the suspect. Wow, Cash, who you guys are trying to fool? Haven't you fooled us enough with the Epstein files that you have to hit us with Epstein files 2.0? No, we're not stupid. We know what's going on. We know who killed Charlie. Oh, we know. I am so furious that I'm laughing. Tyler?
Yeah, I think we all know that this is a sick game they playing with us.
Maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been
Look how he looking at him. Look how he looking at him when Charlie finna say this.
conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years.
Ask a lot of critical questions. He keep on talking.
Maybe.
He just looked at Charlie like, bro, why are you talking to me about Israel, bro? Stop this shit.
All right, let's go over the official Charlie Kirk narrative because I'm kind of slow. 22-year-old who got radicalized online but has no social media presence. Took a rifle that has no shooting experience according to his grandma. Snuck in to this campus, assembled the rifle with no extra tools, put the scope on with no practice shots, had it perfectly aligned, and with one shot, had a shot, took it, disassembled, jumped off the roof, changed clothes again, reassembled the rifle, threw it into the woods, went 250 miles, talked to someone on a random app, and confessed. His dad turns him in. And now here we are. Keep in mind, this 22-year-old with no previous experience of any of this, playing to two patsies at the event.
I want to know how the hell did his dad turn him in if his dad and him don't even fuck with each other? If he confessed on Discord, how did his dad turn him in? I just thought about that. If his confession is on Discord, at what point does his dad get the information to turn him in? What are you going to say, that the roommate hit up the dad? I don't know, bro. None of this shit makes sense.
To draw cover for him, claiming they were the shooters briefly, so he could have cover to get away. I haven't seen a ballistics report. I'm not sure if that's been done at all. And the crime scene was started to get broken down by Turning Point members, 6 minutes after this. No crime scene, no investigation, just take it down, shut her down. Charlie Kirk left in an SUV, still no autopsy that I've seen. But apparently, we got our guy. And it's not weird at all that Charlie was scared of one country taking him out. And it's not weird at all that the leader of that country was the first leader around the world to declare the death of Charlie. And it's not weird at all that an article from that country was the first article about the shooting. Also totally normal since this happened. Epstein files have been blocked by Congress, and Congress passed more laws banning any criticism of that one country. And there you have it. The same media, three-letter agencies that gave you the truth on MLK, JFK, 9/11, COVID, shots in the arm, the Butler shooting, have figured it out. We got our guy, and that's the story. So keep on trucking, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, makes perfect sense, right?
Get to the bottom of this. If it was Israel, if it was leftists, we need to know what threat we face. If Charlie Kirk is being gunned down for not taking money from a foreign state to support their war, that's a problem. If Charlie Kirk got gunned down by a terrorist cell of insane left-wing trannies, we need to know that too. Get to the bottom of this.
They said they want to get to the bottom of what the hell happened to Charlie Kirk.
Israel controls America. Saying anything otherwise is absurd. It's counterfactual. How could, in the middle of a famine, forced famine, all of these dead children, 98% of our government is still kissing Israel's ass? It's pro-genocide. I accuse them of being deeply immoral.
This dude is going off right now. So I'm going to say allegedly. Look, this is his opinion. Allegedly.
Scumbags. Oh, where's the money? Where's the money? Our politicians sicken me. And our media. Oh, no. Congressional hearings on anti-Semitism. Protect the poor Israelis. The real problem is how you guys are offending the Israelis. No, the politicians, they're not crooks. They know the AIPAC money. If you say AIPAC money, oh, that's it. You're hateful. You don't. Shut up. Lie on behalf of Israel. You have to lie on behalf of Israel. That's what mainstream media says. If you work at mainstream media and you still haven't called it a genocide, you're a coward. You're a sniveling, immoral, deeply evil coward. I'm sick of the people in power in this country using it to abuse people. They never help us. We've given Israel $310 billion. And then Israel comes and says, you owe us. You owe us. Are you kidding me? We don't owe you a goddamn thing. We should cut off Israel. They're not an ally. Let's be clear about it. No one has gotten us in more trouble. No one has caused more harm. No one has caused more wars in my lifetime than Israel. Israel is not our ally. At this point, they are our enemy. They take money from us. They incriminate us to the whole world. They implicate us in their immoral war crimes. No one has hurt this country more than Israel has.
Do y'all agree with his statements? I'm just going to say allegedly. Look, this is all alleged. But what do y'all think about his statements?
Israel is our top enemy. Cut off the goddamn funding. You're taking my money to murder Palestinian children. You goddamn racist. That's how I feel about it. Young Turks. Israel could...
He went the hell off. He is not having it.
Apparently, the FBI was secretly investigating Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk. An FBI whistleblower just came forward to Senator Chuck Grassley, stating that Charlie Kirk, as well as 92 other Republican candidates, have been the subject of inquiry from the FBI in a project called Project Arctic Frost. Apparently, Trump was in this as well, and they were secretly investigating all of them.
It's well understood that your predecessor left you an FBI infected with politics. I'm going to provide examples of that today, including making public new whistleblower records. At your nomination hearing, I made public records that whistleblowers provided me about Arctic Frost. Arctic Frost was the FBI case opened and approved by antitrust Trump FBI agent Thibault. Arctic Frost then became Jack Smith's electric case against then Citizen Trump and now President Trump. These new records show that Arctic Frost was much broader than just an electoral matter. The case was expanded to Republican organizations. Some examples of the group that Ray FBI sought to place under political investigation included the Republican National Committee, Republican Attorney General's Association, and various Trump political groups. In total, 92 Republican targets, including Republican groups and Republican-linked individuals, were placed under investigative scope of Arctic Frost. On that political list was one of Charlie Kirk's groups, Turning Point USA. In other words, Arctic Frost wasn't just a case to politically investigate Trump. It was the vehicle by which partisan FBI agents and Department of Justice prosecutors could achieve their partisan ends and improperly investigate the entire Republican political apparatus. So today, Senator Johnson and I are making these records public for the entire country to see, and I hope a lot of people are interested in seeing what government can do when various agencies have a political agenda.
Why? Why are they investigating everybody? Why is that? Sounds pretty un-American. Apparently.
So everybody was being investigated already. So Charlie Kirk's organization was being investigated.
It's not adding up. Cash Patel, buddy, it's not adding up. You're telling me that somebody with a Mauser 98 rifle, non-collapsible, like a polymer stock in the barrel and a scope, at least according to the pictures that you're showing us, you're telling me that this guy shoves a whole ass rifle into his pant leg and waddles to the school, then gets to the school and disassembles this rifle and puts it in his backpack. Mind you, this is not a Nerf gun. You need tools to do that, probably like fucking Allen keys. This is not like, you know, like it's not like those movies where they pull out that like fucking tungsten box and they unlock it, take the piece and screw it together and and then take the shot and take it apart. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a fucking Mauser 98, like a hunting rifle, okay? Like a bolt action hunting rifle. You can't just snap that fucker in half and fold it like it's a transformer. So anyway, here's what you're telling me. Cash. You're telling me that this guy puts a long rifle in his pants and waddles to the school, disassembles the rifle and puts the pieces in his backpack, gets to the roof and reassembles the rifle and takes the shot, stays on the roof and disassembles the rifle, escapes, and then reassembles the rifle? Because you said you found the rifle intact with the shells. So that right there, not adding up. Now, this is where a lot of you are going to lose me because I'm fucking nuts. The kid said in the Discord, he goes, somebody, my doppelganger is trying to get me in trouble because people saw the picture and said, wow, it kind of looks like you. And then we got things where the kid's wearing two different outfits. Some pictures, the kid's wearing a maroon shirt. Some pictures, the kid's wearing that black shirt with the American flag and the eagle. Now, this is where you're going to lose me. Look up the video of George H.W. Bush showing just how realistic those masks are. Somebody came into the Oval Office to show him, and she was wearing the mask, and he had no idea he was talking to somebody in a fucking mask until she took it off. That's how. Now hear me out. This kid's profile is kind of perfect. The left is blaming the right is blaming the left. Hey, fascist catch, followed by, if you read this, you're gay. And it really does play into, you know, the regime's hand. It really fucking does. It helps them with a lot. They're really weaponizing this. I don't know, man. The kid isn't cooperating with the FBI. He's not cooperating. He's probably asking for a lawyer. Maybe I'm fucking nuts. Maybe I'm nuts. It's not adding up.
You're not nuts. Trust me, you're not. It's all adding up to us. I mean, it's not adding up, but it's adding up to us because it's not adding up.
It's not odd that the same people that are doing the investigating, the cover-up of everything with Charlie Kirk, are the same people that are covering up the Epstein files. Is that not odd? Is it not odd that before his death, Charlie is calling for the release of the Epstein files? There seems to be a connection there. There's some intertwining. Is it not odd that Charlie was one of the only people to oppose President Trump's bombing of Iran in the White House? And Trump was very upset with him. And Trump is now fully funded by Israel, essentially. Is that not odd? And if Epstein files are connected to Israel through Epstein, through his father-in-law, do we not see all of the interworkings here? You can't just ignore it. At a minimum, it's this crazy coincidence, right? At a minimum. Let's be honest. I don't think any of this, when it comes to the Epstein files and funding, when it comes to lots of money, is ever a coincidence. It all is going to play out exactly how they want it to. All of these intertwined things point towards one place. What do you think that is? Is it not odd that the...
What do you think that is, y'all?
I don't care who killed JFK. I mean, I do, because it's really interesting. But I noticed that the calendar says 2025 and he was killed in 1963. I don't care who killed JFK. I mean, I do because it's really interesting. But I noticed that the calendar says 2025 and he was killed in 1963.
Yeah, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck?
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
This island in New Zealand. There you go, Goat Island. Goat Island has the Valhalla place in it, and there goes Tyler standing right next to the image of that same place that he just said he'll see Charlie Kirk at. FBI upgrades New Zealand office to counter China international crime. Whoa. And that's the same spot he said, I'll see Charlie at. Why would you say you're going to see Charlie at the New Zealand office? Kash Patel traveled to New Zealand. Oh, man. Huh. All this shit is connected. There goes Charlie Kirk. Oh, man. He's talking about that same spot. This is just creepy.
To my friend Charlie Kirk. Yes, ma'am. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
And I'll see you in Valhalla. Weird as fuck, right?
You're going out in tandem to interview any potential person of interest or suspects, but we need, again, we need as much help as we can possibly get. Any videos or photos that you might have, the public, should be submitted to our digital media tip line, which is www.fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. Again, that is fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. You can also provide general tips about the shooting by calling 1-800.
Man, what the fuck is going on, gang?
Call FBI. That's 1-800-CA.
Why is this dude looking like that? First of all, why is that dude looking like that?
They've removed this video 3 times now because they don't want you to know the truth on the whole Charlie Kirk situation. This is the 3rd time that TikTok has removed this video, but I'm just gonna keep making it because
Man, and then they just cut that one.
they've removed this video 3 times now because they don't want
I guess they don't want me to talk about it either. Shit.
situation. The 3rd time that TikTok has removed this video, but I'm just gonna keep making it because having people
Look, they like no. You're not gonna watch that video. Well, damn. Okay.
They're all
They said no. You're not watching it.
in the same club that you ain't in. All of them. All of them. And you know why they make that hand symbol? Because it looks like that. And that's the Freemason symbol. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear what Candace Owens has to say about it. That's a funny looking symbol too. I wonder what that one means. Remember, they love the number 3. As in 1, 2, 3. Funny how they're both making it. He's the supposedly. Now let's hear from Candace.
Those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay? Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual,
tough girl.
okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA.
Excuse me? Baking powder?
I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA.
Gotcha.
You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company.
She's one of the Masons. One of the Masons. You know, the people all on the TV. Like, you can't get on the TV unless you join their elite club. Kind of like all of them. That's a funny symbol. It kind of looks like horns to me. And if you think it's I love you, come on. And you can't get on the TV unless you join the club. It's time to figure this out, people. They've been lying to you long enough. But of course, all this for entertainment purposes. I'm sure that every single ever celebrity and government person just happens to be doing this and the devil horns because it's fun and cute for picture's sake only. Come on. Entertainment only. All coincidence.
Right?
I am charged with bringing justice for those who are harmed. I am charged with bringing justice for Charlie Kirk. I am committed to these aims. I take this responsibility seriously. Today, after reviewing the evidence that law enforcement has collected thus far, I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide. The state is also charging defendant with count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for moving and concealing the rifle used in the shooting. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for disposing the clothing he wore during the shooting. Count 5, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to delete his incriminating texts. Count 6, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to stay silent if police questioned him. And count 7, commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor, for committing homicide knowing that children were present and may have seen or heard the murder and did so based on Charlie Kirk's political expression. Also, following the press conference, I am filing a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. I do not take this decision lightly, and it is a decision I have made independently as county attorney, based solely on the available evidence and circumstances and nature of the crime. Because we are seeking the death penalty, the defendant will continue to be held without bail in the Utah County Jail. Turning to the 10-page information.
So they're going to seek the death penalty on Tyler Robinson. Valhalla Beauty Queens and Erica Kirk. Let's see, Cash Patel didn't say R.I.P. Charlie. He didn't say see you in heaven. He said see you in Valhalla. That's not a eulogy. It's not witness protection. Speak for the hopium junkies. It's ritual language. And if you think it's just a cute flourish, remember Erica Francis, well, however you say her last name, Kirk's grandfather and Grand Chief of Independent Order of Vikings, knighted by the King of Sweden. Valhalla isn't a metaphor for this family, it's their lineage. Now add the other piece, Erica herself. Boy, is she getting proposed, calling herself the most powerful woman in America. Let's see what else. Trump pageant girl, casting direction, appearing in Kirk's orbit only as Charlie cozied up with Trump. Owner of whatever some ministry they had in Romania, like the Clinton Foundation, a kid farm startup, handler vibes all over it, Romanian angels. So they're saying this is some Romania shit. Like she got Charlie under some type of spell or something. So this is all goes back and is tied to Valhalla. You tied the structures of Erica, Viking royal handlers, and the Trump beauty queens, and Patel's ritual send-off. And the picture sharpens the. This isn't just a political hit; it's the rite of passage. So in Greek, this meant drug, poison, spell. So basically, they're saying she had him under some type of spell. But I want y'all to watch this video. Just pay attention.
Pageant owned by ... Trump.
Just listen to this real quick.
2012 wins Miss Arizona, competes in Miss USA, a pageant owned by ... Trump. Okay, want to know something really weird? So she had said in a podcast that she had never competed in pageants and had never done any modeling before, until one day she receives an invitation in the mail to become a model and start doing pageants. And the pageants that she started doing were Miss USA pageants owned by Trump. So she modeled for Trump. She was one of Trump's pageant girls. But did you know that she was also a casting director at the same time that she was doing all this stuff for Trump? She doesn't specify on her website if she worked as a casting director for Trump, but around the time that she was claiming to be a casting director, she also owned a ministry that was working with the U.S. military in Romania. The area in Romania where she was operating this ministry had a bunch of locals accusing these evangelical ministries of kidnapping children and trafficking them out of the country. These children were being found in the UK, in Israel, and were also being sent to undisclosed private islands. Locals demanded authorities look into it, but they never did. Now, Charlie Kirk really wanted the Epstein files released, but did his wife? Prior to marrying Charlie Kirk, she was a multi-millionaire on her own, and since his passing, she's also amassed all of his wealth, plus an additional at least $5 million in donations. She's currently considered the most powerful woman in the United States, with mega fans begging her to run as vice president in 2028. Let's talk about their first date, because it was actually a job interview. Back in 2018, 2 years after Donald Trump had started working with Charlie Kirk had hosted a Turning Point USA opening event for one of the offices that they had opened. And Erica and Charlie Kirk were introduced to each other. Charlie Kirk instantly thought that she was beautiful, but thought that she was really smart. And allegedly, one of their mutuals had suggested that Charlie Kirk hire Erica. I'm assuming it was Donald Trump or someone on his team, because Donald Trump had signed on to work with Charlie Kirk, and Erica was already one of Donald Trump's employees. So it would make the most sense for Donald Trump and his team to encourage Charlie Kirk to hire Donald Trump's employees. Anyways, Charlie Kirk DM'd Erica, invited her for a job interview. The job interview ended up turning into a date, and Erica allegedly had said, "You're not going to be my boss."
So that's how they met, and they met through Trump. Crazy, right? They met through Trump. Huh. Interesting. All right, let's get to this. Didn't I already play this? Let me see. I played this one already, right? Yeah. That was the court hearing. All right, so let's go down here. Let's get to these videos. And at the thing that they had for him, what is this? Like, this is just giving creepy now.
50 states, one Israel. What is that? Well, the state of Israel just posted this on their Instagram a few hours ago. Quote, the 50 states, one Israel delegation has landed in Israel. 250 American legislators will spend the coming week in Israel and experience it as it truly is by doing this kind of thing, which I guess is required for all U.S. government officials. Okay, I just want to point out to everybody that since Charlie Kirk was assassinated on September 10th, the U.S. government has blocked the Epstein files release, passed an amendment that banned the Pentagon from boycotting Israel, proposed a bill from Marco Rubio to revoke passports for critics of Israel. The House also approved $650 million for Israel's missile defense. And as you just saw there, Marco Rubio visited Israel. And now, once again, there are 250 legislators in Israel at the 50 States One Israel delegation being serenaded with Somewhere Over the Rainbow, a song known as a Project Monarch trigger for mind control MK Ultra slaves to activate them to do bidding against their will. And this is all totally normal, right?
Man. I'm telling you, I'm just gonna get creepier and creepier the more we cover this shit.
All right, watch this video.
Who did you not at all trust, even though you had to work with them?
The Israelis.
You didn't trust them.
Not as far as I could throw them.
You, or was that a cultural thing?
It was cultural. We don't allow the Israelis into CIA headquarters because they would always come with gifts, and the gifts had always listening devices packed inside them. And, you know, somebody brings you a gift, you x-ray it. It's the normal process. And we're like, you guys can't keep coming back here every single time trying to bug our conference rooms. So no more. So,
and was it easy to x-ray and see that they had bugs in them?
Yeah.
What percentage of the time did gifts have bugs in them?
100%.
Be quiet.
No, seriously.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely not. I wish I was.
100% of the time they brought gifts that had bugs in them.
Yeah. And we're like, okay, no more. You can't come on campus anymore.
Will you guys joke about it with them? You're like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What is this? So was it like a joke?
Come on, you guys. No, they were serious. They were hoping one would slip through.
John, was that across the board with everybody that didn't trust them the most?
Oh, yeah.
What percentage of guys you work with didn't trust Mossad?
100%. The guy I sat next to at headquarters and his wife went on a tour to Jerusalem. They were absolutely lovely people. They were declared to the Israelis. So the Israelis knew that they were CIA officers, and they went to Jerusalem for a 2-year assignment not to work against the Israelis. We don't work against the Israelis. That December, they go to a Christmas party at the ambassador's residence. And when they get back to the house, people had taken shits in all their toilets and left it unflushed. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Why? They drive back home, and when they get home, the dog is whimpering under the dining room table. Somebody had cut his tail off. Like, why? They're just dicks.
If they do this to the people they call their allies, imagine what they're doing to Palestinians.
This rabbit hole gets deep, man. I'm telling y'all, this rabbit hole gets deep. Let's continue.
Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
hold on. Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what? Hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God's
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is.
And I'm really happy he said that, because when you hear it, you realize how ridiculous it sounds. Even if you're not following the theology, if you don't identify as a Christian, you realize that you have a senator that is sitting across saying that his number one reason, he didn't say one of the reasons, he said my number one reason that I support Israel is because the Bible commands me to do so. And just so you know, the Bible does not command, and this is what Tucker Carlson is getting to in that clip, it absolutely does not command you to support the modern state of Israel. The Genesis is pointing to the modern 1948 created state of Israel, and you must support it, despite the fact that it is very much involved in what can only be described as demonic behavior since its creation, right? And so you're going to ignore every other biblical passage. You're going to misinterpret this one. It's a dispensationalist heresy. Dispensationalist heresy, which was factually funded by the World Zionist Congress. And we can do another episode on that as I present to you guys all of the evidence that what it guided the notations. This really stems from the Schofield Bible, the heresy of the Schofield Bible. Schofield himself was an absolute fraud who got funded and was overseas and alleges that he wrote all of these notes in the Bible and is telling people how to read their Bibles. The first time annotations were put underneath the passages. So this is what Genesis says, and this is what it means. And this is how this heresy arrived in America. Then somehow this guy is able to, it becomes the most printed book, and Oxford Press gets behind it because like a random pastor, you get the idea here. It was very much a funded effort to have Christians misunderstand the Bible. And Ted Cruz is one of these Christians.
Man. All of this shit is one big organization.
The person nearest to Trump is his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Netanyahu was sleeping in Kushner's bed in the family home. Netanyahu's very, very close friend of Kushner's father, Charles Kushner, a real estate mogul who was jailed for illegal campaign contributions, tax evasion, and witness tampering. Jared has funded illegal settlements in Israel. A funder of AIPAC. He's got big business connections to George Soros, Trump. From day one, he handed the American economy to Stephen Mnuchin as his Treasury Secretary, also an ultra-Zionist. He named his own lawyer, the extreme Zionist David Friedman. Jason Greenblatt, he became U.S. Special Representative for International Negotiations, which include negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians. The Israeli regime is planning to push ahead because they own the President of the United States. This is the reality that we're facing.
So when you start to notice, all of these people are in bed together. Every last one of these people are in bed together, especially in politics.
They say that Charlie Kirk was offered an infusion of $150 million by Israel. Okay? That would double Israel's budget, or excuse me, Turning Point USA's budget. Turning Point USA has an annual budget of $140 million. Netanyahu offered Turning Point $150 million. For one purpose and one purpose only, to shill for Israel harder. Turning Point USA is already pro-Israel. They're not anti-Israel. They've never been anti-Israel. Charlie Kirk has, in the past, criticized Bibi Netanyahu. He has criticized secular left-wing Jewry in America. He has criticized a war with Iran, the famine in Gaza. He has never opposed Israel in itself. He has never explicitly opposed Israel. Israel offered him $150 million to be more pro-Israel than they already were, to be harder in their support for Israel, and in particular, to support regime change in Iran and to support their ethnic cleansing and genocide in Gaza. And Charlie Kirk refused the money. And I have independently confirmed that, by the way. I've heard that from 4 people. 4 people that I trust that are in the know. So this is coming from Candace Owens, a friend of Charlie Kirk. This is coming from Max Blumenthal, who purports to have a source. And I have heard from a handful of people independently of those sources that this offer was real and that Kirk turned down the money. After Charlie Kirk turned down the money, Netanyahu asked if he would come visit Jerusalem and give him the re-education tour. The Holocaust Museum, the burned babies, the beheaded babies, the one that Elon Musk took, the one that our Speaker of the House took. Anyone that's ever criticized Israel has been subjected to. He refused that as well. They offered to bribe him. They tried to re-educate him. He refused both offers.
Oh, what the hell my dog over there doing? But yeah, this shit crazy as hell, man. So yeah, they got it. They had it out for Charlie, and they wasn't gonna stop at nothing.
These connections keep getting weirder and weirder. So right at the end of this press conference where Kash Patel announces that they caught Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, Kash Patel ends it with Charlie Kirk, "I'll see you in Valhalla."
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest down, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Now, what's interesting is that one of the pictures that they put out of Tyler Robinson shows Tyler Robinson in his bedroom next to his computer. on the computer is a picture of an island. That island is called Goat Island, and it's located in New Zealand, that has a retreat called Valhalla. Isn't that weird? That's just weird.
That is pretty weird. I ain't gonna lie. That to just leave your statement like that, I'll see you out there. Like, why would you even say that? And that's what that's what the FBI office is.
Entire world is against Israel. And it is. If the entire world is against Israel's war, and it is, almost every country in the General Assembly voted against Israel's war. And now even countries like France and the United Kingdom are calling for the war to end. They're going so far as to recognize Palestine. If in America, the majority of the people are against the war, then that means the world's population, the billion Muslims, the people in the Middle East, the people in China and in Russia, the people in Europe and the United States, if the whole world is against Israel and the whole world is against the war and they vote against it in the UN, and they do an arms embargo, and they revise their trade relations, and their leaders speak out, but the war keeps going, what does that tell you about the world? What does that tell you about the world and who runs it? We are holding back every Middle Eastern country from interfering. We are holding back Russia and China from maybe negotiating a solution. We are using our influence to stop Europe from criticizing the war. Israel runs America. America runs the world. It's as simple as that. I have enough of a moral compass to say I'm against genocide. I'm against children starving, whether they're white or brown, whether they're Christian or Muslim. I hate seeing children starve to death on purpose. I hate seeing families shot in the back of the head trying to get food. And I think so does the entire world. I think we're all sick and tired of seeing that. That's not right.
It is definitely not right. It is definitely not right. Let's continue.
But yet you must go kiss their wall. You must say... The relationship between the US government and the Israeli government is so freaking bizarre that once you see it, and once a whole generation of young people see it, it's like impossible for them to unsee it. The idea that it's just accepted as normal, that the politicians for your country must worship this other country, and you're like, so what, did that other country like beat us in a war and they're occupying us now? And you're like, no, you're the superpower. They're your welfare country, you know? But yet you must go kiss their wall. You must say, Tammy Bruce from the State Department, where she goes, we're the greatest country in the world, well, second greatest to Israel. And you're like, what?
Making things better for people. And in the greatest country on earth, next to Israel.
That is a weird thing for any representative of your government to say.
That is weird. I mean, why are they? You supposed to be saying that about us? So hold on, I thought we was on top. What the fuck? I don't know. Man.
Marco Rubio and other American leaders removed their cross yesterday during a ritual with Netanyahu and other Israeli leaders. Forced to wear a kippah and removing their cross, they did an Israeli ritual and then walked towards the Western Wall to give it a kiss. This is one of the few times that leaders have prayed with Netanyahu at the Western Wall as he kind of supervises. This comes the same day as the U.S. has introduced a bill to revoke passports of natural-born American citizens for criticizing Israel. And Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, supports this bill. This bill, by the way, was introduced by former IDF soldier and Israeli citizen who is in the U.S. Congress. Rubio has personally deported thousands of students in the U.S. for criticizing Israel and being part of Palestinian rallies. And now it looks like things are going even further as natural-born American citizens for simply making a video about Israel can have my passport revoked for this. This is not the land of the free if I am punished for criticizing another government.
Man. What are y'all thoughts on that? What do y'all think about that? That's crazy work.
Let's get into it.
They passing all kind of bills. This Charlie Kirk situation and fucked up everything.
In a bombshell development that has rocked the political landscape, federal investigators have uncovered financial transactions linking Tyler Robinson, the confessed assassin of conservative Charlie Kirk, to the Democratic Socialists of America, the DSA. According to sources familiar with the ongoing probe, Robinson received multiple wire transfers from DSA affiliated accounts in Orem, Utah. The funds totaling over $50,000 were funneled through shell organizations for community organizing efforts, but appear to have directly supported Robinson's logistics, including travel and weapon acquisition. Prominent DSA members, including AOC and New York Assembly member Zoran Mamdani, have been named in internal FBI documents as key figures in the group's leadership during the period of the transfers. They have neither commented publicly on the allegations. The FBI, in coordination with the Utah state agencies, has expanded its investigation into multiple leftist organizations for possible advanced knowledge of the plot, with Axios reporting that probes now include screw assassination material support provided by Robinson's network. We already knew that. The plot thickened as evidence emerged of continued DSA funding to Robinson even after Kirk's death, with bank records showing an additional $20,000 deposit into an account linked to his transgendered boyfriend, who lived with the killer and reportedly shared his deep-seated animus towards conservatives and Christians. Law enforcement officials described Robinson as a radical leftist activist, corroborated by family statements labeling him as such, and co-workers who noted his obsession with anti-Trump rhetoric and hatred for Kirk, whom he viewed as the most powerful conservative voice of a generation. Bullets recovered from the scene bore carvings of Antifa and LGBTQ slogans, further underscoring the ideological motivations. At least one DSA-linked group in Utah hastily deactivated its social media pages. I already showed you guys who they were, mere hours after the first shot rang out, prompting suspicions of a cover-up, despite initial corporate media narratives portraying Robinson as a right-wing extremist. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm just like trying to read this because I'm like, oh, this fucking bitch. The mounting evidence has forced a reevaluation, with top officials dismissing those claims as premature and biased. As investigations deepen, questions swirl about the DSA's role in what prosecutors are calling a politically motivated assassination. The FBI is probing whether the organization provided not just financial backing, but also operational guidance. AOC and Mamdani, both vocal critics of Charlie's Turning Point USA, face mounting pressure to disclose their involvement in DSA fundraising during this turbulent period. So look, y'all can gaslight all y'all want. I called this shit from the get-go, because what happened 2 weeks ago in Minnesota? Oh yeah, a trans shooter killed 2 little kids. And what happened the 9 times before that with the mass shootings? They were all trans, right? But the news doesn't want you to know that. No, they don't. As soon as I heard the question being asked to Charlie and seeing him shot, I knew exactly who was behind it. So now I want to hear from you guys. Leave me a comment down below, and I have another video coming out later on tonight.
Man. So I'm still not convinced that it's Tyler. I'm still not. Not after all this
Can
stuff.
we
Not after all this stuff that I'm uncovering. It just doesn't lean towards. It doesn't lean towards Tyler.
bring in a clip of Charlie from a month ago speaking about the kind of pressure that he was under, because I think that will also help to further contextualize this. Take a listen.
I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But like some of the mess, and you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been
almost
so
as if
unfair.
you,
They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith isn't allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper paranoid state, because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white, and you're a hammer looking for a nail. So be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? They go, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb. Right?
No, it's not defensible to be dumb, and he was under an increasing amount of pressure. Not just people telling him, "Oh, well, I'm upset with who you're inviting," but flat out telling him that he was not allowed to invite certain people to his events. They were threatening to pull out money. Charlie was getting a lot of really nasty text messages, and many of them pertaining to Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, but Tucker Carlson was really the focus when it came to America Fest. How could Charlie allow these debates about Israel to take place? How could he allow Dave Smith, who, by the way, is Jewish, how could how could Charlie allow this other position to meet the stage? Because obviously when people start to hear the debates, what Dave Smith is saying sounds so rational, but it was up to Charlie to not allow those things to happen. And that amount of pressure towards the end, as you see that conversation now with Meghan was just a month before he lost his life, really, I would say, reached a pinnacle of sorts on the matter of what Tucker Carlson actually said on that stage. Tucker Carlson, while he was on that stage at Turning Point, brought up Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman is a billionaire, obviously. He is also an extremely litigious.
Another powerful man who was against Charlie. Another powerful man who was against Charlie.
Billionaire. And Bill Ackman was on Charlie about comments that Tucker Carlson had made on that stage. Tucker Carlson specifically asked the question, where does Bill Ackman's money come from? Who is this guy? Actually, who is this guy that has this much influence? And like I said, Bill Ackman was not happy about this. And so I would like to contextualize Bibi. Again, these are things Bibi brought up publicly, which he didn't have to. He didn't have to bring up the letter. He didn't have to bring up the phone call, but he chose to do this less than 24 hours after Charlie Kirk was shot. Personally, Bibi, I would have appreciated if you guys used all of your spyware, you'd spy on us for years, to maybe track down the killer. But I guess this is where you thought it was best to do a little propaganda for Israel would be better than us helping us track down the killer. But anyway, so Bibi Netanyahu and that phone call, what took place was a couple of weeks ago before Charlie lost his life. Charlie was in the Hamptons and he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman. Because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote-unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made. That is what I am told, and I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative. In fact, he was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you. And he did not provide the receipts. And this is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say, because I've been in these situations before. When I started asking very sensible questions about Israel, as someone who had dedicated her political life to supporting Israel, many times alongside Charlie Kirk, I was met with the very same pressure. And just like Charlie was being invited to Israel, I was invited somewhere else. And when this arrived to me, it felt like a threat. I got to tell you that. It felt like a threat. Like, not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend. More like, this is your last chance. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak to how it felt.
What do y'all think about her saying she was also invited somewhere? She didn't say it was there where he was invited. She's saying she was also invited somewhere and they felt like, hey, look, this your last chance. Well, why is she still getting chance after chance and Charlie didn't get no more chances?
Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. A ton of money. Bibi would fund it, spend tons of money And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding. That Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, re-education camp. We've seen it. You may not know, but we can help you. We just need you to come out to Auschwitz and take a picture. Yeah. We just need you to come to the Holocaust Museum and take a photo. We just need you to go to Israel and we can make this better. Charlie said no to Bibi. Okay. Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened, because our sources and what we have, it's solid. Okay. There were conversations that took place, messages that were sent at that time, and they are solid. So I decided another person that was there, and I am not surprised this person was there. If you've been listening to my show, Seth Dillon, I was going to go to Seth Dillon, and I decided to message him last night about this Hamptons meeting. And Seth Dillon, who is normally very quick with a response, has not yet been able to respond. I'll show you this text message chain. And I want to be clear, I am not someone who normally publicizes text messages. But my friend was shot in the neck, and I'm just not really in the state right now to be polite when it comes to the answers that I am demanding, okay? This is me out to Seth Dillon last night. I sent him Bill Ackman's tweet because, he tweeted, "I feel incredibly privileged to have spent a day and shared a meal with Charlie Kirk this summer. He was a giant of a man." I said, "Any comment on this one, Seth?" He didn't answer last night. This morning I said, "Need a comment ASAP, please." He didn't answer. Then I followed that up and I said, "Trying again here, you were present when Ackman lost his mind on Charlie and when Bibi invited him to Israel and Charlie refused." Text messages immediately following this meeting are circulating. I find Ackman's statement, as though the meeting was somehow cordial, to be incredibly disturbing. Are you at all disturbed by that tweet? Do you feel, as I do, that this tweet significantly betrays the defined purpose and mood of his, and I presume your, final meeting with Charlie Kirk? ? He was unable to speak to me, but he did place some frantic calls to Turning Point USA. Yeah. You see, I went out to Seth, but I also went out to two other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons. So I will again put it out there, Seth, Bill Ackman, and to the other individuals who I have not yet named, but who are going to be named later this week, who were at the Hamptons when Charlie was put under pressure, when Bibi Netanyahu called him and invited him to Israel, again in a move that wouldn't happen to me, and it wasn't Bibi Netanyahu, felt to me like a laced threat. I am inviting you guys, I will give you my platform, actually, to come clear matters up and tell us what really happened. Because, I think Charlie was definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives. And I can tell you factually, Charlie was praying the rosary. Charlie was going to mass. One of my last conversations with Charlie was me joking with him saying, just make the last step, okay? You are, I said specifically, you're too smart to be a Protestant. Just take the last step, Charlie.
Man. Something is off about this whole shit, man.
2012 wins Miss Arizona, competes in Miss USA.
So this is back to what I was showing y'all earlier about the Valhalla and the connection between Charlie Kirk's wife and the president, and how he put her on. They actually met through the president. So him and his wife actually met through the president. He introduced them, said it'd be a good idea for you to hire her, and the rest is history. Now she owns everything that he ever had. Now she got all the money. Now she leaves out winning everything in the end with her fake tears, allegedly.
Candace Owens Robbins was dropping bombs tonight on her most recent episode, Why Are They Lying About Charlie Kirk? Revealing that Bill Ackman, one of Charlie's biggest donors, gave the FBI $1 million for a reward to whoever identified the shooter. And now that money is going to the alleged shooter's dad. Watch this.
That's not clear to me is that the story that we were told was that Tyler Robinson allegedly, after speaking with the pastor, his dad turned him in. Bill Ackman put up $1 million, right? Thanks, Bill. You really cared about Charlie. And that money is now going to the father of this child who...
So the dad gives up Charlie and gets the $1 million. The dad gives up Charlie, gets the $1 million. But Bill Ackman put up the $1 million, who Bill Ackman was against Charlie, who was connected to Patel, who's against Charlie, who's connected to the governor, who's against Charlie, who's connected to the Mr. N out there in the land of I, who doesn't like Charlie. So this is all seeming like an inside job the more you look at it. So the millie came from Bill Ackman, who obviously put out that tweet lying about Charlie. Is this starting to make sense to y'all?
After prayer and speaking to a pastor, they're saying, okay, well, we, then, he turned himself in. That we were told he turned himself in. Now we're being told that actually he hasn't confessed. So I'm just wondering, how do you turn yourself in without confessing? Because if I say my kid did it, that's enough for an arrest?
Mike Robinson was being called the father of justice, and we were told that he was involved in law enforcement. But now we know that's actually not true at all. In fact, Matt Robinson operates a family-owned construction company. The Washington County Sheriff's Office even had to issue a statement to clarify, saying Deputy Matt Robinson is not connected or related to the individual apprehended last night. But of course, the media wanted you to think that he was. Now, Candace Owens made many other claims about Bill Ackman on this episode, and he has taken to Twitter to vehemently deny all of them. But he hasn't denied this. I mean, it's totally normal, right? For just a good dad to turn in his son and then get $1 million. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
So the dad turns in his kid, gets $1 million, but he never confessed to the dad. So how did the dad turn him in, and how did he get that money, and what proof do they have? So he said, oh, my kid did it. Okay, we're going to arrest him. Like, what? And the grandma came out and said that that kid didn't even own a gun. I'm just lost.
If you don't know who Peter Thiel is, I need to give you some context. Peter Thiel might be the most dangerous man in America today. He's a tech billionaire, and he got his start by raising a cool $1 million from his friends and family and getting into venture capital in 1996. His first big break was PayPal. You may have heard of the PayPal mafia, people like Elon Musk, David Sachs, Reid Hoffman, Peter Thiel. Thiel founded his most infamous company, Palantir, in 2003. Today, Palantir is laying the groundwork for the digital mass surveillance state that's slowly being rolled out across the United States, with the ultimate goal of predicting crime before it happens, pre-crime. It's been their dream for a long time. Palantir started as a digital mass surveillance platform for the battlefield. Its technology has been tested and honed by the IDF on the Palestinians in the West Bank, as well as in American combat theaters across the Middle East. And at this point, a lot of the details of how Palantir's programs work are actually shrouded in top secret classifications that come with its numerous Pentagon and intelligence agency contracts. But Peter Thiel is way spookier than just Palantir.
That would be
It's a lot of creepy ass shit going on out here, man, in this country, man. I don't know what the fuck.
I believe that the American government is sort of trapped by the Israelis. Jeffrey Epstein is one of their tools to trap them.
And what do you think of Dershowitz's denial?
Hold on a second. I want to give you an example. Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton, Ehud Barak, met Arafat in the 90s, and there was no deal. The reason was Epstein. they were being blackmailed by Epstein. Ehud Barak was also a friend of Epstein, the prime minister of Israel at the time. But he was being blackmailed by the Israeli right wing as well. And they stopped an agreement with Arafat. They were about to reach an agreement there for a two-state solution, but that was stopped because of Epstein. They were both being blackmailed by Epstein.
And so Jeffrey Epstein, in a way, presumably being used as a tool by the Israelis, helped to change the course of history in this region I'm speaking to you from.
Of course, a change thing, and they trapped a number of U.S. presidents by using Jeffrey Epstein. And it wasn't only about sex, it was also the money issue. Where was the money coming from? But everything is...
So what do y'all think about this? So let me ask y'all this. If they're saying that Jeffrey was sent by the Israeli government, allegedly, then it's safe to say we know why that 1 minute of footage went missing at that jail, and we know exactly what happened with Jeffrey. He's obviously gone somewhere else, and I don't mean to the upper room. They got him working somewhere else probably. You know what I'm saying? It makes you think. Make sure y'all double tap the screen to like the video. Make sure everybody subscribe to the channel. We're $42 away from a honey bun. Let's go, gang. Let's get the support up. At least double tap the screen and get the likes up. Let's go.
Stuck over Gaza. And I believe...
Salute to Gerkules for the... I don't know how to say that. I think I said it right. Gerkules, thank you for the $20.
The Israelis have the American government captive due to what happens with Epstein, or what happened in the past with Epstein. Rupert Murdoch, newspaper, Wall Street Journal, put out that card or something, birthday card Trump sent to Epstein. Where do you think they got it from? And I don't think Trump wants to continue this war or the genocide. I think it's the Israelis holding him back.
Given how much maverick power he has to create peace in South North Korea, in Palestine, in all these different places, one might ask, why do they need Jeffrey Epstein? Why can't they just assassinate Donald Trump? I know there's a lot of speculation. There has been that John F. Kennedy was assassinated with Israeli intelligence help. Why do they need things like Jeffrey Epstein?
Somebody tried to assassinate him, didn't they? Before the election. It doesn't always work. I'm not sure what's going to happen because, people look at these pictures of starving children all over the world, and there's a lot of pressure on these politicians to say enough, to tell them enough is enough. I'm not sure how far this will go. And I think the Israelis are committing harakiri on themselves, or by doing this, because eventually they will be stopped.
Now that is where the GCC countries arguably can leverage financial power to replace AIPAC lobbying power, as it were. Do you believe that Trump can begin to leverage some of that Arab world, global South, BRICS world power to be able to end the genocide?
No, I believe that he can end the genocide right now if he just stops being scared of the Israelis. What are they going to say about him? How many girls did he abuse? How many billions of dollars he took? Let them say whatever they say. He should stop the genocide. Let them do whatever they want to do. Morality should take over. I encourage him to stop the genocide at any price.
Robert Maxwell was an incredibly intelligent man. He was trying to leverage things against the Israeli state, perhaps financial deals for his company. Look what happened to him. Can't the Israelis every time tell Trump, you try and mess with us? Someone as clever, and people can look up Robert Maxwell's heroic wartime record, they can still kill you.
I can't comment about that, but I hope Donald Trump will have the interest of the United States and the Middle East at heart and do the right thing.
Man. Interesting shit, right? Interesting. So I think he's in a rock and a hard place. He's between a rock and a hard place right now, that being the president. I think he's just like, I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't.
They say that Charlie Kirk was offered an infusion of $150 million by Israel. Okay? That would double Israel's budget, or excuse me, Turning Point USA's budget. Turning Point USA has an annual budget of $140 million. Netanyahu offered Turning Point $150 million. For one purpose and one purpose only, to shill for Israel harder. Turning Point USA is already pro-Israel. They're not anti-Israel. They've never been anti-Israel. Charlie Kirk has, in the past, criticized Bibi Netanyahu. He has criticized secular left-wing Jewry in America. He has criticized a war with Iran, the famine in Gaza. He has never opposed Israel in itself. He has never explicitly opposed Israel. Israel offered him $150 million to be more pro-Israel than they already were, to be harder in their support for Israel, and in particular, to support regime change in Iran and to support their ethnic cleansing and genocide in Gaza. And Charlie Kirk refused the money. And I have independently confirmed that, by the way. I've heard that from 4 people. 4 people that I trust that are in the know. So this is coming from Candace Owens, a friend of Charlie Kirk. This is coming from Max Blumenthal, who purports to have a source. And I have heard from a handful of people independently of those sources that this offer was real and that Kirk turned down the money. After Charlie Kirk turned down the money, Netanyahu asked if he would come visit Jerusalem and give him the re-education tour. The Holocaust Museum, the burned babies, the beheaded babies, the one that Elon Musk took, the one that our Speaker of the House took. Anyone that's ever criticized Israel has been subjected to. He refused that as well. They offered to bribe him. They tried to re-educate him. He refused both offers.
So he wasn't going. Charlie Kirk wasn't going, and they essentially just got rid of him and said, fuck it.
With Charlie Kirk's death, his Turning Point organization, the fate of it is uncertain. Charlie Kirk, I'm going to be honest with you, I saw him as an establishment figure. I saw him as too moderate. We must fill up the ranks of these campus organizations with Septemberists. Forget about the free market. Forget about pro-Israel, free market, whatever. It is incumbent on all adolescent young men that want to save this country, that want any future for your children, that want to preserve what your ancestors built, to get involved in politics and to do more. And when I say politics, do not mistake what I mean. I don't mean go and vote for more Republicans to bomb Palestine. I do not mean to vote for more Republicans to cover up the Epstein files. Vote for more Republicans to squander and botch something like this so badly as they have. I mean, you need to become a human Swiss Army knife, become unkillable. I'm not this guy, but get in the gym. Get in the gym, do tactical training, become hard to kill so you can protect yourself and your family. Learn the rules of the game and use them to your advantage. Get involved in politics. Get involved in a campus organization tomorrow. Get involved in a campaign, not with the mind towards I'm going to put up stickers, not with a mind towards we're going to get the vote, with a mind towards we are in this struggle until we die. By any means. We are in this struggle for the long haul. Until we win, none of us are safe. None of our families are safe. We will keep being attacked. Get used to it. You'll see more of it. I hope we don't. I pray that we don't, but we will. Get involved for the people that can't. For the people that aren't with us. For the people that aren't able. Start your career now so that one day you can be in a position of real power, real money, real influence, real government power. And not today, not tomorrow, because listen, that's not how these things happen. Rome is not built in a day. This kind of societal change, people that are looking for a quick fix, what are we going to do? You're not going to like the answer, because it is not that we are going to go out in some climactic, ecstatic, orgiastic, violent action like a movie. That never delivers change. It never delivers anything good. What does deliver real change is the thankless, monotonous, boring task, the oftentimes not very rewarding task of going in, day out, and dealing with logistical problems and frustrations and fighting every day so that we can be in charge, so that we can protect our country, our inheritance, and all people. That's the solution. That's my call on all people. In the short term, this scourge in our society, it must be driven out. It must be suffocated by goodness. They must be shamed, not hurt, not injured, not maimed, but they must be shamed. They must be ostracized. We cannot associate with these people anymore. And a more voluntary action is you need to get involved. This is the call to action that you're not going to like. Sadly, and I've been around for a long time and I've seen it, and you may not believe me. I've seen enough of these instances. You know how this goes. Everybody's paying attention now because they saw the gory video. Everyone's in their feelings because they saw video edits and productions with music on them on TikTok. Everybody's going to be right back to their ordinary lives. In a year, sadly, I hate to say this, and we won't let them forget, but many will forget. Many people need to be reminded. And that's typically how these things go.
Y'all agree with that? In about 2 weeks, ain't nobody gonna be talking about Charlie Kirk no more. Y'all think everybody going back to normal and on to the next tragedy or whatever?
Use the anger. Use the emotions you're feeling now, not to ruin your life, not to say something reckless, do something you regret, not to say something just as murderous as what happened or do something just as evil as what occurred. Take these emotions, transmute them. Align your intentions with God. Use it for a righteous cause. Use it to get involved in a generational struggle. This is not me telling you not to act. On the contrary, dedicate your life to this. Dedicate your life to taking over our country to deliver a real victory. There is no substitute. There is no alternative. They must lose. We must win. They must be defeated. Ultimately, we must win. We must control the halls of power. We must control the big guns. We must control society for the good of us, our families, for the good of our enemies, for their own good, for the good of the children that have grown up and been misguided and corrupted by the devil and his allies to become this, to become monsters, for the good of us all. That is our responsibility. That's my message.
What do y'all think? Y'all agree with this message? I definitely do. I feel like we all got to stand up and do something.
Yeah.
We all got to stand up and do something, man.
Yes, this is the first time I'm revealing this other than we just updated our article at the Gray Zone. Her name is Natasha Hausdorff, and we were told this by an attendee of the meeting, and I haven't been able to reach out to her. So, if this turns out to be false, we'll correct it. Sure. But I trust the source because
Natasha Hausdorff. Natasha Hausdorff. Yes. Let's pull that up. Go ahead.
Hausdorff, and she was taking what Bill Ackman was doing. Apparently, he was trying to maintain his composure, but she was screaming at him. And what I heard from people in the room is that the whole meeting was a disaster.
It says Bill Ackman to pay $1.2 million to dad who turned in Kirk's unaliver. Billionaire Bill Ackman said he will pay $1.2 million reward to Matt Robinson, who identified his own son as Charlie Kirk's unaliver. Ackman's conditions: Robinson must be cleared of any involvement in the crime. So that's his only condition. As long as, I'm guessing, Matt Robinson is cleared of any involvement, he's going to pay him $1.2 million. So that's the payoff right there. And it makes perfect sense of why he's the scapegoat. They paid him off. They gave him $1.2 million to turn in his kid.
Convened mainly to talk about the danger of Zoran Mamdani as New York mayor. And then after the meeting, or towards the end of this, it was kind of like a influencer summit, and they were taken to fancy restaurants in the Hamptons. I backed that up with photos that they stupidly posted on social media. Everyone at the meeting was offered a free trip to Israel, and most of them took it. Newsmax fronted for the trip. Newsmax has become a vehicle for Israeli influence. Its CEO, Chris Ruddy, just met with Netanyahu in Israel. And one of the influencers there, Xavier de Rousseau from PragerU, whose CEO is a veteran of Israel's cyber spying division, Unit 8200, went to one of these starvation sites, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation starvation sites, paid for by the Israeli government, and delivered a video mocking the starvation in Gaza and claiming that Hamas leaders were eating all the ramen and therefore they were on Ozempic. This is what they're being paid to do. And then there's just a bigger issue here. I thought this movement was about America first, that Charlie Kirk was heading.
Absolutely. So just interrupt. This is Natasha right here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's her.
Okay, thank you.
And what I did was I showed the source the picture and said, was this her? And they immediately said yes.
What the fuck is going on, gang? What is going on here?
Influence operation in the United States targeting the conservative movement. It's also targeted the left as well, run by Benjamin Netanyahu, who is currently presiding over a 7-front war, a genocide in Gaza, and a global assassination campaign that reaches into a U.S. ally now of Qatar, which hosts one of the largest U.S. military bases in the region. And what we have learned is not that Israel was responsible for Charlie Kirk's assassination. We have no evidence of that. So let's just take that off the table. Maybe someone will find something. It's very understandable why the public has a lack of trust in the official story, as you just came out in your intro and explained. But what happened is Benjamin Netanyahu, while Charlie Kirk's body was still warm, came out with videos and tweets trying to claim Charlie Kirk's legacy, because Charlie Kirk was in many ways built up by pro-Netanyahu, pro-Israel donors, and he claimed that Charlie Kirk was the greatest friend of Israel and that the radical left and Muslims were responsible for his death before a suspect was even caught. So Netanyahu was trying to milk this for Israel's benefit. And people.
And then this is what the original statement that he made. He said Charlie Kirk was unalived for speaking truth and defending freedom. A lion-hearted friend of Israel. He fought the lies and stood tall for Judeo-Christian civilization. I spoke to him only 2 weeks ago and invited him to Israel. Sadly, that visit will not take place. We lost an incredible human being. His boundless pride in America and his valiant belief in free speech will leave a lasting impact. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. So he's saying, sadly, that visit won't take place, but allegedly Charlie Kirk wasn't going anyway. He denied going.
Close to Charlie Kirk, including a longtime friend with access to the Trump administration, started talking to me through various contacts I had in Washington and in the media, and telling me this is not true. Charlie Kirk was undergoing a transformation. He was actually under pressure from Netanyahu because of what we saw at the TPUSA Student Action Summit in July, where he was platforming figures who were saying Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad asset, that Israel was actually committing genocide in Gaza. Comic Dave Smith said that. Tucker Carlson mocking the Zionist billionaire Bill Ackman. And he was under enormous pressure, and they were trying to shut him down, and he was defying them. He actually privately despised Benjamin Netanyahu. I learned from two sources, one inside the administration, that he was actually lobbying against the U.S. striking Iran in June, and that he was almost alone.
By the way, you broke that first. The vice president yesterday hosting Charlie's show posthumously said that.
Well, there you go. I mean, a lot of what I reported is reflected in public statements, and we're learning more. And so subsequent to my first story on December 12th about Charlie Kirk's transformation and the pressure he was under, which left him very angry, as we saw from his public appearances, and according to friends, frightened, I learned from multiple sources that there is this meeting in the Hamptons that Bill Ackman, who is a billionaire hedge funder, who is one of the...
And Bill Ackman is the guy who was going to pay his unaliver's family, the dad. So this same guy that he had a meeting with in the Hamptons is the guy who's paying the money for the hit, allegedly.
Biggest kind of Israeli assets in this, like most influential Israeli power brokers. I mean, he's an American, but he's operating on behalf of Israeli interests, convened this summit in the Hamptons with conservative influencers, and Charlie Kirk was there, and Bill Ackman started confronting Charlie Kirk about what he was doing at TPUSA, that it wasn't pro-Israel enough. And I just...
And by the way, there's a lot of clips of Kirk, not naming names, but saying, I've got the Israel lobby and Israel calling me and donors calling me and, saying I'm anti-Semitic and I'm bad. If I even question what's going on, I think that's wrong. So it's not just Candace Owens, who's close friends with her and I trust her. It's not just rumors. It's not just a big donor saying he was scared of Israel killing him, that Harrison met with at Ron Paul's 9th birthday. It was Charlie himself said this. He said he was concerned.
And that was on with Megyn Kelly, I think, the day after the Hamptons meeting that you're talking about happened.
This was on, I believe, August 4th or 5th. And on August 6th, he went on Megyn Kelly and complained about stakeholders who were pro-Israel treating him horribly. And he said, I have less ability to criticize Israel than an Israeli does. So clearly it was getting to him, and he was referring to this meeting. I just learned from someone who was in the room, who was at the meeting, that in addition to Bill Ackman, a British pro-Israel lawyer named Natasha Hausdorff was screaming at Charlie Kirk, like absolutely screaming at him. She is from a lobby group in the UK that is like an extreme...
Let me stop you again. You told us this an hour before the show, and I dropped the ball. So let's say her name again. You said you're going to break exclusive news. You're breaking it now. We have this big Israeli lobbyist screaming at Charlie Kirk. Say her name so we can pull her up. This is the exclusive information.
Yes, this is the first time I'm revealing this, other than we just updated our article at the Gray Zone. Her name is Natasha Hausdorff, and we were told this by an attendee of the meeting, and I haven't been able to reach out to her. So, if this turns out to be false, we'll correct it. Sure. But I trust the source because
Natasha Hausdorff. Natasha Hausdorff. Let's pull that up. Go ahead.
Hausdorff, and she was taking what Bill Ackman was doing. Apparently, he was trying to maintain his composure, but she was screaming at him. And what I heard from people in the room is that the whole meeting was a disaster. It was convened mainly to talk about the danger of Zohran Mamdani as New York mayor. And then after the meeting, or towards the end of this, it was kind of like a influencer summit, and they were taken to fancy restaurants in the Hamptons. I backed that up with photos that they stupidly posted on social media. Everyone at the meeting was offered a free trip to Israel, and most of them took it. Newsmax fronted for the trip. Newsmax has become a vehicle for Israeli influence. Its CEO, Chris Ruddy, just met with Netanyahu in Israel. And one of the influencers there, Xavier de Rousseau from PragerU, whose CEO is a veteran of Israel's cyber spying division, Unit 8200, went to one of these starvation sites, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation starvation sites, paid for by the Israeli government, and delivered a video mocking the starvation in Gaza and claiming that Hamas leaders were eating all the ramen and therefore they were on Ozempic. This is what they're being paid to do. And then there's just a bigger issue here. I thought this movement was about America first, that Charlie Kirk was heading.
Absolutely. So just interrupt. This is Natasha right here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's her.
Okay, thank you.
And what I did was I showed the source the picture and said, was this her? And they immediately said yes.
Every guest
So that's the lady who got into it with Charlie Kirk and said she was screaming at him in the Hamptons about his comments on Israel, allegedly.
Let's talk about what's about to happen here in America, because I am getting so many DMs and I want to make these videos because I love all you guys and I'm so excited that I have a lot of new followers and a lot of new people that are seeing my work for the first time. And a lot of these people are people waking up for the first time, guys. So how does America recover from this? How does this play out? And I just want to let me go walk a little bit farther away and get out of the noise here. So where I'm going with this is I was on Stu Peters' show today and I was talking about what the JQ question and everything that Stu has done, everything that Nick has done, Jake Shields, Ian Carroll, Candace Owens, they've all had their lives destroyed, they've had their careers ruined, they've been deplatformed, blocked, censored, bankrupted, attacked with lawfare in every aspect, okay? And they've all got that attack because they've been trying to wake everybody up. Now, I mainly focus on child trafficking specifically, so I really try to stay in my lane the best I can. But after you've done it for long enough, you start to realize that every rabbit hole you go down, every dark path you go, eventually if you dig down those rabbit holes long enough, they start to lead back to rabbis. And it's really dark and it's really sick, but I try to stay my best to stay in my lane. So what these guys have done over the last 2 years, Charlie Kirk has done more in the last 5 days. This assassination, they made that man into a martyr. And I think that's why you're kind of hearing even Trump kind of be a little bit silent on it, because he's realizing what is they instantly turned him into a martyr and thought they were going to cover this up, and it's completely backfired. What is happening and how does this play out is the better question. So I've been thinking about this for the last basically 2 days. How does the FBI walk this back? We know that this isn't the shooter. We know they got the wrong guy. We know that he's a patsy, and we already have people on YouTube videos recreating this shot. It is going mega viral. This is insane, the amount. And somebody just messaged me, and what made me think of this, he goes, this didn't just wake up America. This woke up the whole world. You're watching Arab nations literally coming together and putting together their own version of NATO. They are fucking done. The West having the West's ability to be the world's bully and beat the shit out of the world, they are going to get America attacked. And that's what I think they really want. I think that they want Israel is going to make us keep backing Israel, and Israel is going to keep bombing and bombing and bombing, and eventually somebody's going to smack us back. Eventually, how many times do you pick on the bully at recess before that bully starts hitting the gym? Literally, how many years does a bully go to school, or how many years does a kid get picked on by a bully before he starts hitting the gym? And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing America be the world's gosh damn bully, and everybody's starting to hit the gym. Everybody that we've picked on they're getting money, they're building weapons, they're building more advanced military technology, and we might be able to take one of them, but we ain't taking China. Their military is so much more advanced, and they have 1 billion people. And the fact I want to drive home here is, are you going to go fight for this government? Are you going to go defend Israel? Are you going to send your children off to die in a war for Israel? No, I am not. Not in a million years. I will put my boots on and I will go to war with my own government before I let them send my son or daughter off to fight in another gosh damn war for Israel. We are done protecting them. They're on their own. So how does this play out? How does Kash Patel walk this back if this is Israel? If this was Netanyahu, how do they walk this back? How does Kash Patel come out and tell you guys, hey, yeah, guys, for what? At first, He could have said, we made a mistake. I'm sorry we got the wrong guy. We didn't know any better. But the covering up now, the letters, the trans ideology, all of it, there is no going back from that. So where do we go from here? I don't know, but I don't think it's good. I do think it was a turning point in America. And I think what comes next, when everybody's waking up, they realize our elections are rigged. Tina Peters, a Gold Star mother, who literally made photocopies. She went in and made a copy of the hard drives of the voting machines and had all of the internal documents to back it up to prove that they rigged our elections. And she's a Gold Star mother rotting in prison. How many January 6ers sat in jail cells for 4 years going, dude, I'm willing to serve this. I'm willing to take this hit for my country because I know that when Trump gets back in, it's ultimate accountability. And I can't wait to watch these suckers that did this to me sit in a jail cell. And they're not only sitting in a jail cell. Gavin Newsom's over there sipping wine. Nancy Pelosi's chilling in her pile at $290 million that she's made somehow as a politician off the backs of every single American citizen. We have a bunch of rotted and corrupt politicians that aren't worth a damn. They've never produced an ounce of wealth in their life. And there are public servants, and they treat us like they're their slaves. The dollar is hyperinflating. Electricity prices all-time high. Car prices at all-time high. Home prices very close to all-time high. Gold prices all-time high. Bitcoin close to an all-time. Everything you buy on a daily basis isn't at an all-time high. But you want to know what's not at an all-time high? Your wages. Your ability to pay your bills, your ability to pay off your debt. We're all getting crushed by this government. And now they want to be trying to pull something like this. Drop some comments, let me know how you think they're going to walk this back. How does Kash Patel stay the director of the FBI after this? What about Bongino? Thank gosh, actually Bongino's kind of been off in the side, which should be telling us everything we need to know. The fact that we're not hearing anything from Bongino, out of all people, have we heard anything? I haven't heard anything, maybe, but I'm traveling in airports. I'm trying my best to keep up with you guys. Love you guys.
Yeah, a lot of people being silent about the shit that they're doing, bro. I don't know. It's becoming a sick game. A sick game that they're playing with us.
Well, we at Daily Wire, we trust you at TPUSA to do it. I mean, that's really the answer. We're willing to provide, and we are providing any level of material support, any level of support on the program, boots on the ground, helping you to do what Charlie would have wanted to be done here. And I think that the reason that everybody trusted Charlie, the reason we're all mourning Charlie, is because nobody did it better. You spelled out two of Charlie's goals. You said, he wanted to bring people back to Christ and bring people back to church and back to biblical values. And he wanted to keep the MAGA coalition together.
And expand it.
And the question is how you do that. And the answer is you focus on the first, and the second is a byproduct. Okay, the answer is that, as Matt says, you have to unite around something. And yeah, we can unite in the short term around the fact that there are a bunch of people who hate our guts and want to murder us, which of course is true. But long-term unity, big movement change, which is what Charlie was really trying to drive, and why he went to talk to people who disagree, is about building around those core values. And so the long-term vision, yeah, we'll have our petty squabbles, and yeah, some of those squabbles will be more than petty, but the long-term vision has to be built around those original biblical conservative values that Charlie stood for, things like the Bible, things like free markets, things like family, all those things are things Charlie stood for. You got to build the coalition around values, because we can't build it around the man, but we can build it around the values that he left behind and that he spent his entire life fighting for. And, we couldn't be, frankly, more honored to join you guys as much as we can in the fight.
Thank you for that. And thank you for donating the Daily Wire $1 million, breaking news on this show. Thank you guys for honoring Charlie so well today. God bless you.
So they didn't pay Charlie Kirk's company $1 million. Now they're partners with him. So now they don't got to pay him $150 million. They just pay him $1 million and start doing business with him, allegedly. So now they're in bed together.
September 12th
So essentially, he's working with his enemies in his death.
report, which provided background about the pressure, the mounting pressure that Charlie Kirk was under from pro-Israel forces, from Netanyahu's cutouts in the United States. I gathered more details. The piece, it hit like a sledgehammer. It really caused a lot of, I think it spoke for a lot of people, particularly within the conservative movement, which is changing among the youth on the question of Israel. And more people started coming out, and more people started talking, and people were talking to me. And these were people who had knowledge of a tumultuous stormy meeting held in the Hamptons during the first week of August, convened, according to multiple sources, with knowledge of this meeting, intimate knowledge of this meeting, by the billionaire ultra-Zionist financier Bill Ackman, who's close to Netanyahu and his kind of network in the United States. Charlie Kirk was summoned along with an array of young, sort of vapid, very avaricious conservative influencers who seem to be sort of in Israel's back pocket to set a very pro-Israel tone for this meeting. And Charlie Kirk was, according to one source, hammered by Ackman and others for allowing Israel critics, very prominent conservative voices like Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, or the anti-Zionist Jewish comedian Dave Smith to appear at his events. And actually, Charlie Kirk was planning to host many of these same figures again in December, and he had just added to his TPUSA major, I think it's called America Fest in December, the premier critic of Israel in Congress. I didn't say Republican critic, I just said premier critic, because that's what she is now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, which really reflected his shifting views. And Ackman, according to multiple sources, had this meeting to basically bully Charlie Kirk into submission. Charlie Kirk walked away, according to one person, feeling like there was an attempt to blackmail him. He refused any offers of funding and also refused the offer to travel to Israel and meet with Netanyahu, which Netanyahu disclosed in the wake, the immediate wake of Netanyahu's death. He talked about this letter, but he didn't say whether Charlie Kirk refused or accepted. I've learned since that he refused.
Yeah, of course he's not gonna tell y'all he didn't want to go out there. Shit, he trying to keep this shit in his favor.
Well, this is according to a source with very good access inside the White House. I could say even the Oval Office, that on two separate occasions this year, Israel was caught placing surveillance or electronic devices on Secret Service emergency response vehicles. I'm only as good as my sources, because if I call up the Secret Service, I'm going to get some like desk guy who's going to tell me no comment. You know, we don't talk about that. But there's a precedent there. As I said, Israel did the same exact thing in 2019, and it was reported widely across mainstream media. The NSA has fingered Israel as the top surveillance threat to the United States. They surveil the U.S. more than any other
Max, this is
country.
so huge. Your sources are saying in Secret Service vehicles, I mean, this is basically an act of war, and you were giving other examples from your sources. Please elaborate as much as give us every detail you were told.
Well, I elaborated as much as I could. I mean, what I've been told for months and months, talking to administration insiders, is that Trump is frightened of the Israeli influence, especially after his experiencing two assassination attempts. That's what we're unmasking, is the biggest foreign influence infiltration operation in American history that is basically taking control of an administration that says it's America first and is taking us to a very dangerous place.
Man, this shit's starting to get spooky as hell, man. This shit's starting to get spooky as hell. They say the president is frightened for his life right now as well.
The guy that got caught, George Zinn, check out the odds of this shit, bro. Okay? The guy that was immediately arrested after the shots were fired, and then he was the first suspect that they picked up.
Crazy theorists out there, I don't want you going crazy, but what are the odds that George Zinn, the patsy that was arrested in the Charlie Kirk assassination, also saw 9/11, he saw the planes fly into the buildings and called that in and reported it, and then he also called in a fake terrorist attack at the Boston Marathon bombing, and just so happened to get arrested at Charlie Kirk's event. So Tess Keyser, she responded to this tweet and she says, Grok is a guy really involved in all three events like this post claims. And Grok fact checks and goes, based on a review of multiple sources, George Zinn was a witness to the 9/11 attacks, and he described seeing planes hit the towers. He was also arrested in 2013 for emailing a bomb threat joke to the Salt Lake City Marathon shortly after the Boston bombing. He pled guilty to a terrorism charge and somehow magically only received probation. He was also detained and questioned as a person of interest at the Charlie Kirk assassination on September 10th, 2025, but released without charges relating to the shooting. Then Grok went on and made sure that it told you there is no credible evidence that supports claims of his involvement in 9/11's false flag, facilitating Kirk's death, or Mossad ties. The main suspect in Kirk's killing is now Tyler Robinson, and he is in custody. So I asked Grok to break this one down for us, and it says so, and it wouldn't give me an answer first. It said it's impossible to calculate. Well, I said use statistical probability and give me a ballpark stat on the probability of him being at all three major events. And it goes through here and it breaks it down. And we get down here to the very bottom where it combines the probability right here. Combined probability. And it says it is equal to 0.705% or 5 times 10 to the power of 8. That translates to approximately 1 in 2 billion. Does all of that seem normal to you?
Very strange.
Weird as fuck. I'm talking about. So the dude is supposed to be involved in all three of those events: the Boston Marathon, 9/11, and Charlie Kirk's death, allegedly.
Sitting back on this for a while with Charlie Kirk, y'all. Look, you see this little thing right here? Watch this. Watch. See it? Look at the flash. See it?
There is a flash right there. Do y'all see that? I do see the flash. Do y'all see that flash?
Look, you see this little thing right here? Watch this. Watch. See it? Look at the flash. See it? From the same angle, y'all, the same direction. You see this little white dot right here? I'm not trying to spread conspiracies, but seriously, y'all heard the noise, you saw it. Now watch this right here, frame by frame. But it looks, if it's coming from his right,
Let me make sure they're not gonna show. Okay, yeah, they're gonna just put it like.
Just come on, right here. Watch.
I'm still going. You know what I'm saying? You can watch, but I'm still going.
You can see it. The white dot. Ignore the guy right there. The white dot goes. I mean, as it's coming, this is frame by frame. You see the white dot, then you see him move. You see him get hit. I'm just saying, man. There is a possibility. A lot of people are talking about it now too. Looking back at this area, that would be where it was. So they're above everybody. It'd be coming down to the angle, as far as I can tell. That's the flash right there. That flash lines up perfect with the sound. I'm just saying, it does.
Gang violence. Violence.
Keep looking.
Gang violence. Iconic gang violence.
See what I mean? So what do y'all think about that right there, man? The little white dot, you can save the video and do it yourself, frame by frame. You see the white dot?
And it's right there too. Literally right there.
Right. Then you see him get hit. Then it's like boom, 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 like 3 frames. I mean, it's always the questions, never the answers, okay? Don't come attacking me in the comments either now. I don't want to hear it. We're all trying to figure out what's going on. Look at the flash. Watch the
Iconic gang violence.
See it? Look at the flash. See
Iconic
it?
gang violence.
Thing right here, watch the
Iconic gang violence.
See it? Look at the flash. See
Iconic
it?
gang violence.
I definitely can see it. What about y'all in the chat? Can y'all see it? That's crazy work. So it shows that it was right there up on them. They lying about everything. That I'm telling you, Tyler Robinson did not do this, bro. There's no fucking way Tyler Robinson did it. And that video proves it right there. You can see the flash in the window.
As county attorney, I am charged with bringing justice.
I don't need that one. Let's go to this.
So I just recorded a video shot by Life is Driving, Life is Driving on X, who was recording a live stream at Utah University the day that Charlie Kirk was shot. The video is 1 hour long. I just shared with you some parts, and I told you that I was going to make a focus analysis on a section of the video, a clip of that video that is, let's say, disturbing. You see right here on your screen a guy who is dismounting a camera that was right behind Charlie when he was shot. And I'm going to ask you a question, because it's obvious, no, right? That at some point they had to, pack and leave, right? It's normal. But I'm going to ask you a question. Can you guess how much time passed since the moment that Charlie Kirk was shot to this instant in which they began basically taking the cameras away, the high resolution cameras that recorded everything. Maybe you can, for the setting, you could say 1 hour. Yeah, too much. Maybe you'd say maybe 30 minutes after the fact. Still too much. Maybe 15 minutes, right? 15 minutes. No, you will still be missing the mark. You know how long was it? 5 minutes. I couldn't believe it myself. I had to check. From the moment the shot is heard and everybody starts running, I showed that on my previous video, to this moment in which these guys began sticking away the cameras. 5 minutes. 5. I just wondering, how is that possible? How does that
That's an active crime scene. How do you go remove stuff from an active crime scene?
work? Somebody was shot and there must be blood everywhere, right there. There must be blood everywhere. Everybody saw what happened. And yes, the chair that he is standing on, that's the chair that Charlie Kirk was sitting when he was shot. So we haven't even seen this clip, and you already realize the level of evidence tampering, of crime scene tampering that we are witnessing here. I mean, how does this work? I think that anybody at TP USA should have an answer for this. So the clip starts right here. Again, I always forget the name of the Life is Driving. Adam Bartholomew was recording this. He was walking around. He had let's say a unique opportunity of filming right next to this. This was essentially almost 4 minutes in, or 4 minutes after the fact, and he noticed, all right, there were already people had left, and you see that there was this, you can barely make out this high resolution camera in front of Charlie. I hope that we never get to see that footage, by the way. These are the speakers, which are not that big, and that would explain that from 100 yards away, we couldn't hear what they were saying, much less from 200 yards away. I explained that on my previous video. But then you see that they are like kind of arguing. I think that they are nobodies, by the way. One of them seems really stressed, touching his head. I'm not gonna say that they are complicit or anything, as there's no way to know at this point. I think the FBI must have interrogated them. At the same time, they were really concerned, and one of them begins pointing at the camera. Maybe they were, they had concerns about the content of it. They were sure that maybe the camera could have.
How are they able to get so close to the body? And you know what I'm saying? How are they able to just stand? Who are they? And who do y'all work for that y'all are able to do what y'all are doing right now?
Recorded something. They began, but at that moment, they are walking right in the middle of where Charlie was sitting. I'm gonna play this in mute. We don't need the sound. They were right there. So I don't know. Couldn't they have been more careful? And you see that he's about to grab the chair, the only chair that was there. In fact, for the longest part of the video shot, that was the only chair in there. He keeps looking at the camera. Oh, he gets the chair, puts it upright. Yeah, the chair, Charlie's chair. He dismounts the camera. Why are you? I need to see the camera. Okay, wait a second until the camera is tilted on the other way. So apologize. And he gets the camera. Some people say that he made sure to get the SD card from the camera, the memory of the camera away. Let's see. I don't know what he's doing right now.
Why would he be grabbing that camera and doing that? You see what I'm saying? They've been playing games with this Charlie Kirk shit. He got the footage and did something with it.
He opened something in the camera.
Because whoever did it was in the vicinity of them. So they covering it up right there on the spot. On the scene, they covering it up.
Or he's doing something to the camera. He looks at the
Look
other
at this
guy.
again. Look at this again. Watch this.
Chair in there.
Look, he was
keeps
looking for an escape route. He's like, man, how do I get this fucking camera off of me? Hopefully nobody looking, man. I gotta get the fuck up out of here. I gotta get that footage.
The longest part of the video shot, that was the only chair in there. He keeps looking at the camera. Oh, he gets the chair, puts it upright. Yeah, the chair, Charlie's chair. He dismounts the camera. Why are you? I need to see the camera. Okay, wait a second until the camera is tilted on the other way. So apologize. And he gets the camera. Some people say that he made sure to get the SD card from the camera, the memory of the camera away. Let's see. I don't know what he's doing right now. He opened something in the camera, or he's doing something to the camera. He looks at the other guy. He looks around to see what's happening here. We don't know what he's doing. And he's got something in his hands.
He took the footage.
And he goes away.
He took the footage and dipped.
Well,
Look.
I know what he's doing.
He took the footage and dipped. Look.
He looks around to see.
He doing some suspicious ass stuff. Look at him. He looking all around. He nervous.
In the camera, or he's doing something to the camera. He looks at the other guy.
He looks suspicious as fuck.
He looks around to see what's happening here. We don't know what he's doing. And he's got something in his hands. And he goes away. Well, I didn't see him getting anything in his pocket. Let's see if he walks. Well, he's got. Is this the same guy? I don't know if that's the same guy.
He put a hat on. He put a hat on and did.
No, it's two different. This enters, the other gets out. The other guy, maybe they
all working together.
The memory card or whatever he got from that camera. And then, well, the one who is filming is asked to leave the scene because, yeah, it's a crime scene. This happened 5 minutes ago. And why would you be dismantling all this stuff? Again, so many things. Many things that we don't understand. Oh, by the way, I want to make it clear. You know that we have like confirmed information as we go along. I said on one of my videos, on a couple of my videos, that Charlie had this bulletproof vest. It has already been confirmed by authorities. No, he was not wearing any bulletproof vest.
So for the people saying he was wearing a bulletproof vest, there was no bulletproof vest. There was none.
Hey, what up?
Allegedly.
Hey, what up, guys? I know a lot of you guys are trying to help, and you guys are sending me a ton of amazing videos. There's a lot of new videos I haven't seen. I'm trying to keep up with it. I'm traveling right now, so I'm in and out of planes. I'm trying to get the information that I think is important posted. I'm sorry if I post something that is not accurate. I'm just trying to do my best to get all this information out there. But I want to talk about specifically about Charlie Kirk wearing a bulletproof vest. I now have from a confirmed source, which is what you're seeing right here on the screen. This is a message that I was sent on X. And then we also got into another conversation where he also reiterated the fact that his friend's dad is a surgeon at the hospital where Charlie Kirk arrived. He was hit in the chest, which is what we saw right here. It caved in part of his chest. That's what absorbed that impact that you've seen. The bullet ricocheted up and went into the neck. Anybody that's trying to show you that there's a frame and a what
I don't believe he was wearing a bulletproof vest. I'm sorry, I don't.
frame. And
What do y'all think? Do y'all think he was wearing a vest?
there's the bullet. Guys, cameras film at 30 frames per second. Bullets travel at like 500 or 900 feet per second. It would be literally mathematically impossible for you to catch a frame and actually see a full bullet. You might see a flick of something. It could have been a bee, a bug. There was no side shooter, guys. The main shooter we're looking at came from the front, and I don't think it was that Tyler dude. I think that Tyler dude was a patsy. I'm not buying the stuff that he was a lone shooter on the roof. Look at all this stuff that the FBI has told us, okay? Okay, so first he drives and drops this gun off in the woods. Then he drives and parks his car on campus. Then he walks back to the woods to get the gun. Then he puts the gun in his pants and he walks to campus, climbs on the roof, changes his outfit, then takes the shot, changes back into the original outfit, then breaks down the gun and puts the 24-inch barrel of the gun in his pants, but puts the butt and the scope somehow in his backpack. Then he goes and he breaks down, and then oh sorry, that's 8 again. And then he jumps off the roof with a 24-inch barrel somehow secured to his leg. Then he runs to the woods, somehow with a 24-inch gun barrel, and then maybe is it duct taped to his leg? And then he walks back to campus, gets in his car, and then the gun was hidden. At that point, the gun was hidden in his bag, so why wouldn't he just walk to his car? But he walks back to campus and gets in his car, but why wouldn't he have done that in the first place? And then he drives home and somehow confesses to his dad instead of driving to his trans boyfriend's house. Is anybody buying this? I'm not buying. This is what we call slop, folks. Slop, and people are gobbling it up. But we need to be laser focused on getting these CCTV footages, guys. I want you guys to stop wasting your time with their, it was fake and he's not there and there's no blood when they carried him out. I personally think he most likely died out at the scene. But either way, when you cut your finger, right? You cut your finger and you put it above your heart, it stops bleeding, right? You got people holding his neck. His neck is elevated above his heart. How much blood already came out of his head, out of that neck? Right? I don't think it's abnormal. In the videos that they're saying of him carrying that body, you can't see, you can't tell. Charlie Kirk was hit with a bullet and they carried that body to the hospital. When it arrived there, his chest was caved in. He was hit right up in this area, just like we saw in that video. You can see the little smudge, the little burn mark as it hits the vest and literally ricochets up into his neck. Most likely hitting his spine, completely snapping his neck. That's why you see his neck tilt like that and he falls over. I don't think he made it much longer. Some people are saying he made it 90 minutes. I'm not sure if he made it even to the hospital alive. Definitely didn't feel a thing, that's for sure, guys. But please, guys, please do not send me any more videos of any other angles of this being a side shooter. If it's not something from the front, please, I'm so busy. I can't keep up with all these DMs and I want to help answer all the questions of people that actually have questions that I can answer. The conspiracy theories from the side shooter and different guns and this guy in the waistband in the front. Yeah, maybe in the crowd somewhere from the front. Okay, that we can go down those conspiracy rabbit holes. But the side shooter, no, it had to have come from straight on, most likely a long rifle from a much farther distance. I personally think that there is somebody much farther back than that. I think that dude on the roof was a patsy. I don't know how they got him there, how they played him like that.
Yeah, I don't know about that theory you're going with, brother. I see what you're trying to say, but I don't get it. I don't get it, not even a little bit. So we go down this rabbit hole. We go down this crazy rabbit hole of Charlie Kirk, man. Long live Charlie Kirk. And hopefully we get the evidence of the real shooter one day. I doubt we ever get the information of who the real shooter of Charlie Kirk is, but I don't believe for 1 second that shooter is Tyler Robinson. I just don't believe the shooter is Tyler Robinson. I think we've been lied to. I think we're being bamboozled, and I think they're playing right in our face. But of course, we're going to continue to cover this every chance we get. Had to come with another episode of exposing the elites. Exposing the elites. Man. We've been getting a lot of support while covering this. Make sure you all subscribe to the channel. Make sure all of y'all got your notifications turned on to all notifications. Make sure y'all double tap that like button. We finna get ready to get the hell up off here, man. I am worn out. I've been going hard, staying up all night, going down these rabbit holes. I'm tired. Shit, I am tired, man. This is a crazy case. Scary, spooky. Yeah, this is a scary ass situation, man. This is a spooky ass situation. So stay prayed up, man. Make sure y'all get into the comment section. Let me know, who do y'all think the real shooter is? Where do y'all think the real shooter was at? Was it from the side? Was it from the back? Was it from the front? Who was it? Why was they taking that footage? What's going on with the CCTV footage? Why have they released no camera angles of anything? Why can't we see Tyler getting on that roof? Why can't you show us this story that you have? They got thousands of cameras on that campus. Why can't we get the real truth about where the hell those shooters, I'm gonna say those shooters, but where's your shooter at? Give us something, man. Give us something other than what we got right now. Shit. We'll be back tomorrow night, man. This your boy Big Ratchet. That's Ratchet Gang. And this is Ratchet TV. Until the next episode, man, tomorrow night, y'all get y'all some rest, man. Salute to the gang. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue to go up. I love y'all more than y'all will ever know. This your boy Big Ratchet. I'm gone.